But, that being said, I need each and every one of you all to gather around the table and let me tell you all a Voden fable. To gather around for the tale of these survivors, the tale of the looming corruption and a jaded destiny. For this be the infamous tale of the Valley of Dreams and the legendary tale of the Soulbound. Previously, our heroes were found in the forest of Jaded Dragon Valley, but it would be here that they would all decide to separate off into groups as they'd seek to grow in strength before the upcoming battle. As this occurred, Cora, the Warforged cleric, would seek to understand her nature and what she was capable of, while also trying to discover where her magic resided. Meanwhile, the sprite Bloodhunter and Gore, and also the Shifter Barbarian and Addydark would go on a wild hunt against a creature of the night. Killing a sort of vampiric spider creature, Gore would enter a blood rage and lose himself to Dioni's wrath. While this happened, meanwhile, the Tortle Sorcerer and Agni would seek to control the likes of his wrath and fury by traveling with Old Man Philo to a snowy bamboo forest. Having pleasant conversation, Agni would ask Philo to make sure to stop Agni if he ever lost control again, as he tried to manifest and control this power. While this occurred, Zaman would find the likes of a nine-tailed fox and seek after it, traveling far and wide before eventually finding himself at a waterfall from long ago. There, he'd rebuild the statue and be given a message from the yokai goddess and Yana, the god of messages. Here she'd explain that a war between the Akuyama and Teniyama was approaching, and fast. While this was all occurring, Azura, the Oculi Swordmaster, would duel with the Leonin samurai Hannibal in a clash of dragons. They'd enter the Dream Mist and immediately fight near the likes of a waterfall. And with a fearsome battle, it'd be Azura barely able to come out on top as she struck the final blow, winning the duel. That said, survivors, listen now. With only hours until this proclaimed attack, will you be able to grow in strength fast enough to withstand what's to come? Well, we'll have to find out what your preparations are in Session 9 of Valley of Dreams. That being said, let's pick back up exactly where we left off. Alright, so first things first, I'm gonna send you guys over to the likes of the map, or we'll just send you guys to the camp map to keep this simple. And we'll go from there. And let's go here. No improvements from last week, no material or no structures were built, so the map resides relatively the same. I also need to change. A new thing has, Zora has new art, and we'll show that off once we introduce your character, but for now we'll just place that here. So, give you guys a little bit of your ambience, and we're good to go. So, as you pick back up exactly where we left off, we look towards the likes of our heroes as they go their separate ways, Zora emerging from the Dream Mist with Hannibal in a clash of dragons. We also look towards Agni as he remains in the bamboo forest, readying to unleash the nature of wrath, to seek and control it. Zaman also seems to be returning to camp with the news of a great war to come. And Cora trains tirelessly, trying to manipulate her strength and power. All this while happening, Gore and Addydark are in the forest where Gore has entered a blood rage. With all our heroes separated to finish their training, who would like to go first in this endeavor? I'll leave it to you guys to decide. If not, I'll just roll a dice.
Start with Cora. Cora, do you want to start?
No, go ahead. Yeah, bro.
I can start. It's fine.
Alright. I said if we're starting with Zaman. Zaman, you pretty much, it's accurate where your token is at the moment. You pretty much returning from the likes of the, campsite. Here, I can also get rid of, I can get rid of, Agni and Philo at the moment. They're not here. And I can also get rid of Azura and Hannibal as they are not here either. So,
Copy.
Zaman, as you are eventually approaching back, you return hours and hours back before eventually getting to the campsite. You having news in hand, you see as only individuals who seem to be in this camp at the moment, besides your owl, is pretty much Mal, the Red Panda Artificer, and also Korra, the Warforged Cleric. I said, Zaman, what would you like to say, and what would you like to do as you arrive back?
You'll see Zaman. He'll be running back to tell of the news he just learned. And he said, Korra, quick, Mao. Is everybody else still going?
Yeah. Where the hell did you go?
Sorry. I saw a creature that I hadn't seen in a while, but I had to follow. It was able to provide me a message from a new goddess of some sort with 9 tails. There's a impending war coming, not just the one that is coming for us now that Agni warned of, but something even deeper that's coming between the Teniyama and Yakiyama. Apparently, it's going to affect all of voting, and we will likely have to pick sides or find a way to defuse it.
To the 9-tailed fox. Could be like another yokai or something.
I am not sure. I saw her one other time. It was another time.
I think I know who you could be referring to, but Korra, did you know anything of this?
Not that I'm aware of. It's news to me.
Well, if I was to understand, that individual might be, well, very well, one of the newer sort of goddesses that has arrived in the Pantheon. It may well very be Yana, the goddess of messages.
I've never heard of her.
Oh. Maybe you've received a message from her, but I mean, it could have just been one of her other sort of, Kitsune yokai. I've seen only like 1 or 2, since I've been traveling here. Haven't been here for long, but long enough.
Interesting. Have you heard of these Teneyama and Akuyama?
He'll make a history check. Or actually, this is more of a religion check. 16. In passing. I'm not like studied in them, but I believe they were the different types of yokai for the most part. I think it was like demons and angels or something like that. Devils and angels? Yeah, devils and angels. Not demons. That's a big difference. Big difference.
Do you know anything about their beef? Why are they warring?
Actually, Zaman, you'd probably be able to understand this without even asking. It's as simple as this. Some things are a lot simpler than you kind of think. TLDR, devils and angels hate each other like to a fucking T. They are polar opposites, and they always will pretty much hate each other.
Makes perfect sense. Just gotta ask the question sometimes.
Yep.
He would say, well,
yeah.
But he would say, well, I also received a message from that group that we talked to. They just gave me their names, and then Zaman will repeat the names. There's one is named Zella, Krellin, the Phoebe, I think they call it a Phoebe. I'm not.
Oh God.
All the names, but he lists out the names.
As this happens, Korra. Oh God. All right. Hey, Korra. You don't have your memory of how stuff happened, right?
She only remembers being the moment she got turned.
Okay.
She remembers who did it. She remembers like, but anything prior to that, and basically as a counter, she don't remember nothing of that.
Gotcha.
Among she.
As this begins to, or as he begins to list off these names, something just begins to sort of click and just connect together and spark for a moment. And it seems to be one of them rings true and rings familiar. Same one you've been hearing recently, but yeah. You will hear as Mao will begin to say, just a question. Did you happen, in one of those visions, did you happen to sort of see, another one of my kind? Like a, sort of, you know, a ringtail, and about yay tall?
Now that you mention it.
Oh, you just see his eyes will just immediately go, like, go wide and, like, filled with joy for a second.
There was a different group. They seemed to be in the Azure Taiga based on the snowy and tundra-like terrain. It was a purple tiefling, I believe, and I saw a vision of their party, and I remember there being a ringtail as a part of that party.
Wait, really?
Yeah,
Was she?
she was quite small, but she was very, very active.
You'll see as he begins to just start, like, emotion begins to just start sort of flooding into him, and he's like, wait, could you describe exactly what she looked like?
As the mom would describe, to the
Oh, hold on. Now you gotta make a history check, my friend.
That's fair.
You gotta make a history check with that one. 18, that's pretty good. So what you're able to kind of explain, because again, it's very, very hard to see past the sort of images. This is also, also just while you're at it, make a perception check. This is for what you would have seen in that visage or the vision. Okay, so not too much, but enough. So it's pretty bare bone information of what you tell him. Nothing like super significant. Besides, you pretty much tell them like, oh, I mean, they wore blue. They sort of were traveling very, very small. They seemed to be just kind of minding their own business before you, actually didn't see that. And they kind of sort of, carried around like a single sort of staff, but that was it. And you'll see as Mao will begin to just sort of almost drop down and then sort of breathe for a second and almost begin to start shedding a tear.
Is this ringtail familiar to you, Mao?
Well, is she familiar? Well, yeah. Well, hopefully, if it's the right one, well, I believe that one's my daughter. That's Lika.
Oh, wow.
What?
Yeah. How did you all get separated?
I've been holding on to that one for a while.
That's a lore drop if I heard one.
It was a long time ago. Well, actually, I gotta actually make sure that I get this right. Don't fuck this up. Hold on one second.
Mom almost killed him. Sheesh.
Yeah. I was like, damn, that's gonna be awkward.
My bad, I killed your pops. Oops.
And the best part about it is, In's not even here. Oh man.
Real issue. All of us are 6 sessions from now. That man would have just started pulling stuff out the bag. Terrible. Nah, bro, the daughter would have came after us 10 sessions from now.
Okay, I think I have this relatively right. So you would hear as also Zaman, you get a D8 of inspiration from chat, and Agni, you also get a D8 of inspiration from chat. There you go. But yeah, someone will clip this, but you'll hear as he begins to say, yeah, my daughter and Lika and my wife, we were all separated of the sorts. You know, that big old tree over there, and it'll just point to the giant trees sort of passing through the skies and more.
Copy.
We used to live up there, and more. It was a thriving society, with all of this other sort of ringtails and even genasi of the sorts. It was nice and peaceful, for the most part. I was, as I said before, I'm Mao of the sort of, well, the water tribe of Gaia up there. And we, well, to keep it as simple as possible, to not sort of, you know, well, not trauma dump, but you know, to just keep things brief. We were, and the rest of our sort of hand of the water tribe, well, it didn't really make the cut, and we were cut from the tree to plummet down below and leave and get exiled. While that sort of happened, we got sort of separated and more, but I will say beforehand, Lika was, well, she was supposed to travel to at least Jaded Dragon Valley with me and my wife, but once we got cut down from the tree, that didn't really happen. So I figured, hey, might as well try to travel amongst Jaded Dragon Valley and hope I run into them somehow. But I looked around amongst the tree and I didn't really see anybody there. I spent days looking, but there's no one. I'm sorry. I share too much. I apologize. Sorry about that.
Zaman would approach him, put his hand on his shoulder, and say, "Mal, I understand. It's hard to lose someone you love, especially a daughter. I haven't seen my sister in many moons, so I feel your pain. But at least we may have a way to communicate with her using this." And he will hold out his mark.
Wait. You can communicate. Do you know how to? You did it before. Do you know how to activate it now? Is that a thing you can do?
I will try. I don't know how it activated. I just kind of said some things and hope for the best. The last time it activated, I was at that statue of the nine-tailed goddess you called Yana, and it activated then. I sent a message to her, to the party, or at least one of the people that was in her party, and I'm waiting for a reply, but we can try to see if we can activate it now again. And Zaman will attempt to activate his mark.
Alright. As you do. Cora, are you saying or doing anything in this, or adding anything to this? I'm just trying to make sure everybody gets their shot.
Cora would bring like Zama to the side somewhere.
Easy enough.
Like over here.
Yep.
1 second, Mal.
Zama, the names you said you gave a message to, who are they? Could you repeat the names again?
He will say the names again. Zell, Krillin, Phoebe, Nafiba. You should be familiar with that one. Car. That particular name.
What do you know of this one?
Oh boy.
Oh god.
So Corey, you say you don't remember anything before you got turned into a warforged, correct?
I only remember after.
So we were me, you, Azara, Agni, Gar, and Jade were on a mission to figure out why certain things were happening in Voden, particularly the Forbidden Expanse. When we arrived to the location, Agni and Goa ran into Nefiba and the people she was with. They took them hostage, and when we went to retrieve them, we made a pact. This is why we have these bands on us. That we will go to this place called the Forbidden City in exchange for the freedom of our friends. As a part of this deal, me and you agreed to become Warforged, as it would make that mission easier. We decided to sacrifice our bodies in order to save Agni and Gar and to complete this mission for Nefiba.
And this person you reached out to and told them who we are and where we are.
I told them my name, then
No.
our names and our location, as well as the information that I have received about this oncoming war.
Now, one thing to make sure so you don't omit details and whatnot. That's a huge sort of factor that you guys kind of forget every now and again. You all were 100% aware. Every last one of you were 100% aware of the cyberkinetic arm, and also how it was affected by the corruption, which was the entire point of why you went on the mission in the first place. It was you were able to confirm it 100%, and you did know that it was affecting her in some way, shape, or form, for sure.
Yeah, he would mention that I was trying to avoid saying the C word.
Yeah,
Savon is
you
scared to say it
could
out.
come up with a multitude of ways and whatnot. Yeah, so there you go.
Well, Zaman would say, when we were interacting with her, I don't know if you recall, it seemed like we were talking to two people. She had a mechanical arm that was coursing with actual light, similar to the ones that we saw in the orcs from before, and similar to the other creatures that we faced. It seems like she may have been possessed because when we saw her in the tavern, she was seemed completely different. She no longer had the arm, and her personality had completely changed. Now I'm not sure if her intentions were being clouded by whatever that arm did to her. But at the same time, I figured the people that she's with have lost their memories. If if she regains her memories and remember us and remember what she did to us, who knows if they will become hostile to us.
So
They've
do
already
you?
seen our faces and our appearances. There is no need to lie about our names. And our location, we are far beyond their reach. To considering they're in the Forbidden Expanse and we're in the Jaded Dragon Valley.
So you must trust that group then.
Trust is a strong word. I think we're all connected for a reason. When I talked to Hannibal, he mentioned that I needed to communicate via this mark to ensure that it would manifest. And the manifestation of this mark, it seems to be essential to our survival. I think that we cannot judge the group by the actions of one person, especially if they have suffered similar memory loss as most of you have. All they know is our name, our location, and this impeding war that's supposed to come. That is not enough information to cause us any harm.
Hmm. But she's the one who put these bans on us. So
Correct.
we
But she
we don't
seems
know,
much weaker than she was before.
but we don't know their true intentions. So I don't understand why we reach out to someone who have us in this crutch.
Once again, Car, the manifestation of this mock seems essential to our survival.
Okay.
That's the reason I did it. This is the reason I've been communicating with them. They gave me the same information I provided them, their names and their location.
Okay. Cora would just nod and continue practicing.
All right. That said, while that's all happening over here, which do we look towards next? Do we look towards Agni, Azora, or Gore and Addydark?
You could do Gore and Eddie Dark next.
All right.
All right, Gore and Addydark it is. Oh boy, now this is gonna be a fucking, this is gonna be a change in pace. This is gonna be something. All right, give me 1 minute. So, yeah. All right, you guys should see the map loading now. All right, at this point here, I can get rid of this because it's dead. So, as you guys are all, or as you two are beating, or pretty much the corpse of this sort of individual, Addydark, at this point, you've sort of stopped realizing that it's dead. However, you look over to the likes of Gore, who is just sort of pummeling them to death over and over and over again. Gore, as this is happening, you begin to sit there almost enraged, just seeing nothing but red and hatred. Addydark, you look over to the likes of Gore, and a sinister smile begins to form on him as he is coated in blood. But also, Gore, you feel yourself in this blood, but also coated in victory. Glory in crushing. Glory in the father of the Oni. And as it takes you, the zealotry does as well. Gore, I need you to make another wisdom saving throw.
All right, let's see how this goes. It's not letting me open up the whatchamacallit right now.
You're not in Foundry as well.
What? I'm here.
I may need to refresh. Yeah, you may want to refresh. I'd prefer not to make this roll, but I can if you need me to.
No, hold on. Let me decide the fates on this.
Yeah, you know, Sensei's track record.
I don't want to do
Spike, bro.
Hey man, I be telling you, I really don't want to roll your dice for you. I really don't. Whenever I touch a play character, it's over. It's fucking over. Can't roll above a 4. Well, them NPCs though.
By the way.
Your health.
Backed up.
Oh, why is it? Oh, okay, I see. I think you were at 22. Like I remember seeing it earlier. I think you were like at 22.
Yep, I took.
And then you had, yeah, and then you had your temp HP, which I didn't give you from earlier, so I made sure to add it now, or like a couple hours ago. All right, Gore. Yeah, so you chose the whenever you go into a different sort of element stance, whenever you rage, you chose the element of Earth, I believe, and with Earth you gain 3 temporary HP. To basically see like all the different features of the elemental rages, go to like double click on your token, go to features, and then elemental rage. Oh, did you choose fire? Okay. All right, that's fine. That's fine.
Not necessarily. Set a wisdom saving throw.
Yeah, I got you. All right, my bad then. Yes, wisdom saving throw for me, Gore.
Oh, whew, all right. I was a little worried. All right, there we go.
All right, Gore, is that the final roll?
If it really matters, I got that D8 to roll. All right, I just better be safe than sorry because I rolled a nat 1 last time. All right, that's the final roll.
God damn it, buddy! No! Fuck! Oh man, that's a total of 24, right?
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Oh god. That is still a fail by fucking 1. I can't tell you how excited I got. I was like, oh shit, 18. He has inspiration. He can fucking do this.
Come on.
Oh my god.
Life.
I'm so sorry. That being said, let me just change this for a second. Oh god. As this begins to occur. Oh no. Gore, you begin to lose your mind for a moment. And as you do, you look around and you just sort of not even relying on your eyes, more so you feel as if you must crush. You must crush more and more for the hunt for Fanax. No one will stay in your way from crushing all that oppose you and assuming the form of truth, the form of the Oni. You look around and you see as the corpse lies there, and as you begin to almost yell out in a sort of primal rage, you look forth. Not even Dark will stop you if they even tried. Why would you even let them? Dark, you look over towards Gore, and you are easily enough able to understand that something is wrong with Gore. Something is controlling him and manipulating him. But it seems to be just almost a little shine in his eyes for something, a strange different coloring. But Dark, make a perception check for me.
Bro, I don't even know why I roll these anymore at disadvantage. Just
Oh, yeah.
giggles. Just
It is rough.
it's just rough out here. 1 second. You said perception?
Perception. That is a 7. You're not able to make out much, but you're able to see this. You look over the 7. The most you're able to see is far, far off for like a brief flash in a moment, off into the corner, but not even really to be able to tell the direction. But you see a woman, long black hair, features hardly distinguishable, and with your likes of your vision, but they seem to be smiling, her eyes glowing a red similar to Gore's. Before, with your 7, she just vanishes from your sight, nowhere to be seen. That said, as this happens, you look towards Gore as he's almost, or as he's sort of enraged, and Gore, here, well, actually, we'll go into that in a minute. But Gore, what are you doing at the moment as you feel this sort of rage taking you and you feel the sort of urge to crush almost anything and everything to assume your form, entered into this blood rage?
So first Gore would be smashing that thing until there was nothing left. And the spider, if he would first like grab a little bit of whatever left was the spider and almost like crush it in his hand, and he'd be like, "No, this isn't enough. There's more to sacrifice." And he'd be looking for something else to get to swinging at. I think he would go sort of in the direction when he felt like the thing was moving in secretness, like where he saw the smoke last time. I don't know if that makes any sense.
From where you saw the spider, the closest thing was pretty much the tree over here, or on the area over here where there was a corpse that was dropped.
Gore would go down there and try to just hack the tree down and be like, "Come, be crushed. The hiding time is over." And Gore would just be fucking molly-whopping the shit out of the tree first. I guess because he just could be going for what he saw last.
That being said, Dark, you witness this in front as Gore just has gone completely mad. What are you doing?
Which direction was that lady?
It was really hard to tell at this point as all of this is sort of happening. You're almost weary and tired. She could have went anywhere south, but maybe even west or east. It's too really hard to tell.
Gotcha. I guess can I make a perception check or something, or check for if there are night creatures about afoot?
Make a yeah, I guess a perception check to see if there's any more night creatures. Yeah.
let me ask this random question. Is my protection beyond good and evil still around me, whether I'm actually like pursuing it or not? I don't know if that would
Did you activate it before? I know you did detect good and evil, but I don't think you.
Yeah, detect, not protection, but detect.
Oh, okay. Detect. No, I didn't. Remember, it was like a sort of like a sonar sort of thing. No, it was 10 minutes. You guys did spend a while. Roll a D100. You're gonna want to see a 70 or higher. That'll basically say like you have like 30 seconds left. Nah, it's gone.
Boy, try.
All right, that's it. Addy Dark, with your perception check of 17, looking about, any signs of creatures has sort of vanished and dissipated. It seemed to be that was whatever that spider creature was. That seemed to be the only one. It definitely was vampiric in nature, the way it had its fangs and with its bite, you nearly suffering the consequences of it. But for the most part, there are no other creatures.
Gore, calm yourself. Gore, I don't know if he would hear him or not, but he would be trying to literally hack that tree down. I don't know if he'd hear him over the sound of him being as loud as Gore is.
Like I said, you just see as Addy Dark, you just try to yell out to Gore, and Gore is just yelling and screaming into the day or even the night, just hacking and hacking towards the tree. At this point, Addy Dark, you even wonder if he's going to start alerting more enemies or creatures to your position. As you make your perception check of 17, they don't seem to be around yet, but who knows, they could be coming soon.
I guess I'll, is the tree still upstanding, or did he hack the tree down at this point?
Well, Gore, make 2 strength checks for me.
2 strength checks, heard.
5 and then 10. He's making some progress in it, but it's still up, for sure.
Gore, where does this rage? Calm yourself.
That wasn't enough. There's more. They hide. Gore will crush them all. Crush, crush, crush.
With that, I believe I was going to take like a defensive stance, ready to dodge, because I believe he's going to attract something here.
All right. At this point, Addy Dark, you begin to look around and begin to just get into defensive stance just in case anything's to come towards you. That said, Gore, make another wisdom saving throw.
Oh, Jesus. Rough day, rough day.
Come on, buddy. DC's lower, but still. Is that total? Is that a 9? That is not going to be enough. You see, as Gore, at this point, you become even more enraged. At this point, you hack and tear towards the tree. At this point, where it's barely even standing, and with one one final swoop, one final strike, you're able to carve directly through it as it begins to slowly sort of bend and tear before crashing down onto the ground. With a loud thud, you both begin to hear it. However, Gore, your bloodlust hasn't been satisfied yet. You need more. You need flesh to tear and flesh to sacrifice to Phonax. This will not do. You look around almost wildly as to see any sort of creature in sight. Make a perception check, Gore.
All right. See where we goes.
11. Well, you don't really see anybody. Except that one. But that's about it.
Gotta do what's appropriate. He would turn it. He would turn.
You don't think I can see through that? You can't hide from Gore.
Yeah, Gore would come at your boy.
Oh no. Well, here we go. If this is the route this goes. All right. So Gore, let me explain a couple one thing to you. I've reworked the or finalized the blood rage mechanics. Hold on, let me move you over here for a second. All right, so here's how this works, Gore. In this form, you you are not aware of how you enter this manually. It just happens at this point. But in the case that Gore loses himself to the rage of the Oni, or its wrath, all your attacks next round do critical hit damage instantly, and you have advantage on attacks. However, every attack you take has disadvantage against you, but if they hit, you also suffer a critical hit and damage.
God, there's no other way. I tried a way around it.
Oh boy.
Um,
This lasts for until your next, or the end of your next turn. So yeah, basically 2 rounds of this. That said, you said you were going to attack Addy Dark.
Only we traded places today.
If only. Like. I mean, the only other thing he would have gone for is if there was another poof of smoke that he could have gone for, but he would have gone this off those 2 poofs.
Nah, maybe if you would have, maybe if you rolled higher on perception, maybe you could have saw whatever happened with Addy Dark, like past there. But nah, not with an 11. That said,
The dice can't even justify it.
ah boy, yeah, that's the case. Whoa, shit, man. It's time, my friend. Igor, as you begin to swing or try to charge forth towards Addy Dark, your 2 souls are shackled, and the time for battle is now. I need you, Addy Dark, and you, Gore of the Meadows, to roll for initiative. Oh, goodness.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
You'll have to make wisdom saving throws at the end of your turn, so we'll hope for the best. Addy Dark with a 19, Gore with a 7. We'll see what happens. So, as this occurs, Addy Dark, you do receive initiative first, and you do look over as Gore is getting ready to attack you. You can choose to remain in your defensive stance, or you can choose to retaliate. The choice is yours, though, as you're first to react.
I would remain in the defensive stance. I guess. Yeah,
Alright.
yeah. That's my one action. I guess is I would. My rage is off as well from the last fight, correct?
Yeah, you would have to reactivate it.
Yeah, I would just stick with the dodge. I have a particular kind of dodge if it is effective, but we'll save that for that time being.
All right. That said, as you enter a defensive stance, that is your action. I believe you stand your ground, and if that's the case, then that is your turn. Gore of the Meadows, what would you like to do?
I think he wouldn't even think hard on this. He just swing. I guess that's what it would be. He just a swing with his long sword. That's all I could think
All right.
of doing.
You have advantage.
Like,
Well, actually, no, you have straight roll because he's dodging.
okay. Let's see how this goes.
Oh, man. That is an 18 to hit, and that is also critical hit damage. Roll another D8 for me. For an extra 4 points of damage. At this point, Addy Dark, you see as he swings forth wildly towards you, the long sword embeds itself into your sort of abdomen area. As it happens, he rips the blade out, and you begin to draw, or your blood has begun to be spilled. Whatever this creature that's controlling him, and so far, though it's long gone, its effects have still lingered amongst Gore. That said, it seems to be that he maybe still be sort of knocked out of the state, but at the moment he is hostile towards you, and he apparently wants you dead. Gore, that is your action. You have a bonus action.
Oh Jesus. The bonus action with rage, would he even do that? He would Jesus. We're just gonna go for a straight up story. He'd probably just straight up do the Crimson Right.
All right, roll 2d4 for me.
Yeah.
Ooh, 6 points of damage is not the greatest. You do take it as you begin to unleash or sort of imbue your sword with the right of Atakumaru. As this happens, it begins to sort of writhe in shadows. That said, that's your bonus action. That's your action. Is that your turn?
Yeah, that's what she would do. Like, he would basically, Phoenix isn't pleased yet. This one still goes.
All right. That is your turn. Addy Dark, at this point. Oh, wait, hold on. Yep, there we go. Gore, make your wisdom saving throw. DC's lowered again.
Jesus Christ, Larry.
13. Oh, God. Is that the final roll?
Jesus Christ. I don't think I have any more. I don't have any more inspiration. Nah, just use my D8.
That is
Sorry,
not gonna cut it. That is not gonna cut it. That said, as you begin to, or as you fight and fight and fight, you feel as if something's sort of pulling amongst you, just sort of, maybe, wait, what are you doing? But no, immediately you look towards this individual. They must be crushed. They must be dealt with. That said, that is what happens. Addy Dark, you receive initiative. What do you do for your turn?
How large is Gore again? Like, is he like hand size?
He's considered tiny, so he's about 1 foot tall, like 1.5 feet tall.
Okay, so it would take like, okay, if I were to grapple him, it'd be like in my shoulder. Is that is he too tiny for that?
Yeah, you could just straight up grapple him by like using one hand to grapple him, kind of.
Grapple him. All right. Well, this is unfortunate, but I gotta play my character. Addy Dark, being damaged, quite nearly near death at this point, considering I've taken that spider bite earlier. He has only one resort. He only has like one option here, and he's gonna shift into his bear form to gain some, I guess, gain some ground, get some earth help here.
All right. That said, are you shifting or are you raging?
I'm shifting.
All right. That said, as
Like a full bear.
full bear. That being said, as you begin to watch as Addy Dark's arms begin to elongate, begins to grow even a little bit more of fangs in his, or you see as these claws begin to almost protrude out of his fingertips as he enters into almost bestial roar, entering the werebear state. That said, that's your bonus action. You gain a little bit of temp HP. I'll make sure to add all of that stuff to you. That said, you have an action. What else would you like to do?
I'm going to oh, okay. Wait. I'm going to attempt to give him a little bear hug here with I guess that's a grapple, I guess technically.
Yep.
But unarmed fury, that's not a passive thing. That's like a bonus.
Unarmed fury, you used your bonus action, so you can just use, you can hit him as an action or whatever, like unarmed strike. And also, I guess I can explain this to you. If you want, there is a thing in D&D. Whenever you hit somebody, you don't have to kill them. You can always knock them out, but the only way to knock them out is by getting them to 0 HP and then just saying, "Hey, I don't want to kill them. I want to knock them unconsciously." So non-lethal damage. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I am aware of that. I guess that's why I'm going like unarmed strike versus like with my club.
Gotcha.
Trying
Said.
to subdue. He seems a bit unhinged. Is the word I would use.
All right. Make an unarmed strike towards Gore and see what happens. As you try to sort of reach out, grab him, and sort of put him into a bear hold for a brief moment.
I'm going to also reckless attack on this one because I want advantage.
Alrighty. This will actually, so you will actually have, it will just be a straight roll for this one with Gore's sort of with his sort of enraged, blood rage state. So therefore just make the attack roll.
Wait, so I already had disadvantage, is what you're saying?
Yeah, you have disadvantage until the end of this next turn, and then afterwards you're good to go.
Okay.
13. Nah, I won't do it. You try to swing forth, however, he's able to sort of dodge and weave out of your way. You're trying to swing, but not able to grab him. That said, Addy Dark, that's your action, your bonus action. Only thing you can do is try to move, but that's up to you. You stand in your ground?
Oh yeah, I'm not moving.
All right, you stand your ground and ready yourself for what's to come. Gore, you receive initiative once more, and you see as almost the wrath and the rage is sort of fading. However, they're not dead yet. Gore, what would you like to do?
All right. God, I don't want to kill him. Let's see. I would try to bind him first. Jesus Christ.
Oh man.
I'm so sorry.
Play your character, bro. Just play your character. That's all I ask.
He would try to bind him first. So I need to see a strength saving throw.
Play me like if I was Zaman, bro. Treat me equal.
Play me like I was Zaman. That said, Gore or Addy-Dark, as you are in this enraged state, you do see as Gore's eyes begin to sort of almost turn this into this sort of black ichor. As it happens, it begins to almost bleed for a moment as he reaches out and you feel bits of your body begins to almost freeze and lock up. That said, make a strength saving throw. You actually have advantage because you are raging.
I'm not raging.
Oh, you're not raging. I'm stupid. You are shifting. Never mind. So straight roll. Straight roll. I always get that confused when I have a shifter barbarian.
It's okay. I'm doing a whole bunch of funky stuff. So none of my passives help either on strength checks, right? I'm not losing my mind.
I can check the shifting feature. Nah, you don't. Or natural athlete?
No.
Nah, you don't.
No.
But this is just a saving throw.
All right. You said strength.
Yeah, strength.
You said with no advantage, disadvantage.
Just straight roll. 14 plus 6, though that will be a total of 20. That will succeed, and you see as your bones begin to lock up, but you're able to push through, and you're able to resist the binding. Gore, you look over towards them, and it seems to be they've broken through the likes of your hex. You have an action left. Anything you'd like to do?
I guess the only thing to do with the character would be
Cannot be tamed.
We're just gonna get to swinging. That's what Gore would do in this rage.
All right, get to swinging. You have advantage.
Play your character. Play your character.
Will crush you. Oh God.
Oh man, so what do you want? Did roll one more time because you have advantage.
Another. What do you say? 2d4s.
Roll one more time because you have advantage. I'll undo the health. All right, same thing. All right, roll 2d4 as well, and then roll a d8. Oh gosh, no, oh god, this is gonna be nasty. Oh no, oh jeez, this is gonna be rough. All right, so 4 gets doubled plus. Oh god, all right, so 5 plus another 4 plus the 4 crits as well. So I need you to roll 2d4 once more.
Another 2d4. Jeez.
Another 2d4.
My bad, bro.
18 dice.
That's not gonna do it. As said, Addy-Dark, you see as he strikes you, the blade embeds itself into your chest, and you look over towards them, and it seems to be as you look down and you're just losing blood profusely. It's ripped out of your guts as you drop down to the ground, bleeding. Gore, at this point, you look towards the likes of Addy-Dark, and you almost immediately instinctually snap out of it, and you glance towards the likes of your blade embedded into into their abdomen and more. As this happens, they just sort of drop down, trying to sort of calm you down, but it wasn't enough. That said, Addy-Dark, as you lay there, looking towards Gore while bleeding out. Gore, what do you do?
Gore is like, explain to me how this state would be. Would it be like he would come out of it and he would realize everything he did, or would he?
Go ahead.
Before we jump to that, did you add the health for the shifting too, and I'm still just dead?
Yeah, I did. It was 10 HP.
I just see him rolling 18 dices. I don't know how much damage that actually means.
Yeah, I got it.
Dices. I don't know what's going on.
So basically what happened was I gave you your 10 temp HP from your shifting feature. So you get to add your barbarian level plus your constitution modifier whenever you shift, just normally. So that was a total of 6. And then afterwards, because you are a specific beast-hide shifter, you get to add an additional d6 to that temp HP. I rolled a 4, I got a 4, 6 plus 4 equals 10. Or just happened to be that he's built for these kind of situations. He crit on you, just unfortunate, and he ended up doing a lot of fucking damage. He did right above like a 2 more than he needed to, and that was the thing that brought you down unconscious. Considering that you were also injured, and you also couldn't, you know, really fight back in this sense. All right. That said, Gore, what were you trying to do?
Explain to me if he would know what he did, or would it be more like did he temporarily like rage out and don't know what it is?
It's more of like just again a snap of the fingers, and you're just or immediately snapped out of it, and you kind of didn't really remember what sort of happened besides you sort of crushing the spider, and then you come back to reality and you just look down and you see that your blade is into or was embedded into Addy Dark.
And then he would like, no, furry one, what happened? And Gore would try to like, I don't know, stabilize him, I guess. Can he try that?
You can certainly try. You can make a medicine check for me.
Not this man's forte.
8. Oh, it's not gonna do it. That said, you see as you just try to sit there stabilizing him, but however he still keeps falling closer and closer to death. That said, Addy Dark, make a death saving throw for me.
Yeah, so how does this mechanic work?
So simply just roll a d20 and you're good to go. But before you do that, all right, Addy Dark, as you begin to sit there, slowly bleeding out, staring off into your own blood, you begin to have memories begin to flow back into you. And you find yourself not in this sort of land of greenery, but not even this land of deserts either. Instead, you find yourself in a land filled with snow, snowy taigos, and even Arctic's not too far from here. Or you look out and see a tribe. Your tribe, even. As you see all these other individuals sort of walking around with these sort of tribal marks and tattoos, some glowing with some glowing of flames, some not. You see as they're all sort of preparing for some sort of battle. A war. But you're not sure what. As this happens, you look out towards them. As you lay there, make a death saving throw. So this is a d20, 17. As this begins to happen, you look out towards them and you see and you feel as if you need to sort of stand and fight with them to not die here and now. That said, that is a success on your death saving throw. Gore, are you still trying to stabilize him?
Yes, Gore would immediately try to stabilize him. Yeah.
All right, that said, medicine check again. 11, that is enough to beat the DC of 10. Eventually, after a bit of time, it takes you a little while to get used to it. You're now being far, far from a healer, but you knowing of general first aid and how to sort of patch a wound. You try to get any resources and materials necessary to stabilize him and stop the bleeding. That said, Addy Dark, you are no longer bleeding out, but you are unconscious at the moment. It'll take a bit of time to heal, but you may do so. Gore, as you sit there, looking around and about, make a perception check for me.
Yeah, let's see what goes on with this.
You look off to the side and you see as not too far, you begin to see the same woman that Addy Dark saw from earlier. Black hair, nothing really indistinguishable about their face. And they seem to be almost dressed in some sort of strange garb, but again, as soon as you try to get a quick look at them, their eyes begin to sort of flash this strange light. And then They vanish amongst one of the sort of trees and more. You look out towards them and you see trying to get a general idea of where they went, but they went south. But at this point, you look down towards Addydark. Can't really leave them here, so you can try to go after them, but I mean, it's up to you, my friend.
Gore would just leave him all bloody and beaten up. That wouldn't be Gore. Gore would sort of pick him up. The best. Well, I mean, Gore could pick him.
I just want to point out that you are picking up a full-size rare bear right now.
Yeah.
Gore's pretty strong.
I just want to point that out real quickly.
Don't let Gore's size deceive you. Don't Gore.
Flavor text. I am still rare bear.
Yeah, you're a pretty big dude. Not gonna lie, Gore. You can make it a strength check, but oh god.
All right, we'll make that strength check. Let's see how this goes.
Yeah, I picked up Agni before. That has been a thing.
I'm telling you, I gotta stop sleeping on Gore.
That is a 19. Yeah, with surprising strength, you're able to sort of pick, well, not to you, Gore, but you're able to pick up the likes of Addydark and at least sort of hoist him up for a moment, dragging him to wherever you would pretty much wish. I don't think you're trying to just make him stand, are you?
No. If he can't just come whatever, I just want to bring him to some. I mean, the idea would be to bring him back to the camp if possible, if plausible.
Sure, if you want to try to like throughout this time try to just keep dragging him to the likes of the camp, you can do that. Yeah, or start that journey.
Because there's no healer amongst us right now, so.
That's true.
One thing like of the supplies that we have, does the medicine work for anybody healing?
It can, but you need to make healing potions beforehand. No one's tried to make healing potions or poisons yet. Which is fair. I mean, never really thought about it.
Copy. Gore couldn't make a half-ass attempt with all the medicine he found to try to see if it would work for something. If not, it's cool. Understand?
Oh, you can. It takes a short rest to try to make them, or try to craft a potion. Do you sit here for 45 minutes, like prop Addydark amongst the tree, and then try to start crafting what you can?
Yep, that would be here. For the moment, I would bring it up against like a tree right here. Actually, over here, closer to that's water, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He would go over there, drag him over to the water, fill his water skin, try to pour some water on your boy's lips. Maybe take a swig himself. I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah, you're good.
Or would attempt to patch him up with whatever rudimentary soldier training he's had in his days.
All right, 1 second. Oh, you need proficiency in our herbalism kit. So here's the thing. So Gore, you can wait, hold on. What if you don't? Crime costs are initially multiplied by 2.5. Nah, are you I don't think so. Are you proficient in a healer's kit or a herbalism kit?
You know damn well.
Yeah.
Alchemist supplies, I think. That's the only thing he's walking around with for some reason. So.
Alchemist supplies, I could raise that. I'll adjust the DC, but I could argue it. All right, here's what I need you to do. I need you to make a medicine check for me, with the alchemist kit. So you can just make a medicine check. I'll add the bonuses after.
Okay.
That's pretty good. That's really, really good. So, oh my god. All right, so that is +2 because your proficiency bonus. Total of 21. Oh shit, you might actually beat the DC to learn it. What the fuck? 2 point. That said, if that is the final roll, you are able to make, it takes you a lot of medicine to do so. It'll take you a total of, I'll make sure, where is this thing? Do you guys even have enough medicine? Yeah, you guys have plenty. It will take you 4 stocks of medicine as you're not you don't have too much training in making herbalism, or excuse me, healing potions like on the daily or anything like that, but you can certainly learn if you wanted to. But it will take you 4 medicine right now. You have a total of 8. Would you like to use it?
You said it'll take 4 to use it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring Dark back. It just seems like the right thing. Yep.
All right. That said, you have eventually, after a bit of time, you're able to craft the likes of a healing potion using the bits of herbs around. And assuming that you heal them, roll 2d4 plus 2. And after that, we'll return back to you in a moment. Alrighty. That said, as this is all sort of occurring, we look towards the likes of the other individuals. Azora or Agni. Which one of you want to go next?
Oh, I'll go next.
Alright, here we go then. Alright. As we look towards the likes of Agni, we find them in this sort of snowy bamboo forest, right outside of this strange statue, beside the likes of Old Man Philo, Myconid Druid. Agni, while this is happening, you're preparing and readying yourself to try to manifest this power, but what do you say or do while Philo's around beforehand?
So I guess as we get here, Agni kind of takes a look around at remember in this setting, some of the thoughts and feelings come back to him from that dream that he had. He's going to take a step to like this statue and actually like put his scythe down, kind of take off all the he doesn't have many items on him, but he has like the quiver, his toolkits. He sets like everything down, so it doesn't get damaged in what he's about to do. He kind of takes a quick look at the statue, shakes it off as this is not the time to be worrying about statues or anything like that.
Well, one thing you did know, you do look over towards it and you do find, because I didn't ever get to tell you this yesterday or last week, but the face of them seems familiar, but you're unsure why. It seems to be of a woman sort of sitting there, her face sort of covered, and she seems to almost be writhing with the likes of vines and more. But
I guess then it catches his attention for a little bit longer, but there's no time for distractions.
yeah.
As he knows, he puts it down. He comes back over to Philo and sort of looks at him and tells him, "Now is probably a good enough time. There's no time like the present. You might want to stand back just a bit if possible. I don't want to cause you any unnecessary damage if possible."
All right. Said, you'll see as he'll give you your space, Agni. Back up even further. All right. That said, at this point, Agni, is Philo in a good enough or position for you? Or do you want him further?
Little further.
You got it.
Just another square or two.
He's just gonna go like over here. All right, let's leave you to it.
Yeah, it should be good. So Agni then sort of thinks to himself. He's been very focused on the martial side of him compared to more of the magical side of things with him, as he himself has probably forgotten that he is a sorcerer. So during this time, he kind of closes his eyes. Even though he's lost his memory, the feelings of things in his past are still there. There's a lot of thoughts of hatred. There's a lot of thoughts of anger. But there's also feelings of camaraderie and leadership. Even though he can't put like a memory to it or a face to any of these feelings, he's known these feelings have been true to him for a long time. All these different type of emotions, and being in this area, sort of alone with his own thoughts, it kind of gives him just a little bit of clarity, as everything has kind of been hustle and bustle for him for the time being. Agni he's going to put like his feet into like the snow a little bit. He's going to dig sort of as deep as he can till he like hits the ground. He's kind of just going to let his mind go a bit blank, and in an instant he's going to like start releasing magic from him. The area around him begins to heat up almost instantly, as the snow sort of around him begins to melt slowly and starts to expand outward. The snow melting. Philo would be able to see sort of the red stones that are all over his body start to become a really warm red, start to almost hum a little bit as a magical aura starts to come out around Agni as he's starting to channel some of his magic through the weave. And as he's doing this right now, he's sort of focused a bit onto the tranquility of everything that is happening. But as he starts to release more and more magic, anger and hatred starts to come out of him. The runes on the back of his shell begin to light up one by one, until his whole back is completely lit in like a bright red. Um, he kind of opens his eyes at this point, and there's just a magical aura completely enveloping Agni as he starts to release his magic and start burning through the reserves of his sorcerer heritage.
I was muted. As it begin to happen, oh goodness. Let's change the music for this shit. Here we go, Agni. I wish you the best of luck, my friend. Alright. Alright. Agni. As this begins to happen, you trying to contain the likes of the wrath within. You feel as if a storm of hellfire is brewing up within you. You feel as if this pure hatred, anger, and wrath incarnate is billowing up inside you as this happens. And you try to take a portion of it while having a little bit of control. You look around and you see, or just trying to almost take it's just a simple fraction of this sort of power and try to manipulate it and control what little of it you can. And as it's unleashed from within, with the first exertion, you try to contain too much of the power and the power of the infernals as it's trying to take you. You feel for a brief moment as it begins to writhe amongst your arms and even the likes of your shell that you're not strong enough to control. As you feel your bones are being pressured amongst one another, a massive force trying to push you back into a state of rage almost instantaneously. That being said, Agni, I need you to describe how you're trying to resist this, and when you are done, I need you to make a strength saving throw for the first of this skill challenge.
So Agni resists it initially by the same force that he's feeling, he is combating with it. He's combating with all the pent-up rage inside of him. He's channeling the deepest parts of his magic at this point, and he wants to meet this force of magic coming outside of him with the same force that is pushing on him right now.
All right. That said, make a strength saving throw with all you've got, Agni. All right. Oof. What is that? Total 4 plus 7. That's not gonna do it. That said, you have you have inspiration. You trying to do anything?
Yeah, sure. I'll roll this one.
All right.
5, 13.
5 total of 13. Is that the final roll?
Yes.
All right. With a 13, oof. I said you are big. It's not looking good for you, buddy. It's not looking good. But as said, 13 to start us off. You try and force with all you've got. However, it seems to be more and more of it trying to crush and tear into your bones and almost rip your entire flesh from yourself, burning away and letting it take you with the rage. However, you begin to hold your ground and begin to almost stand extremely still. or letting almost all of this sort of punch begin to come towards you as you begin to try to sort of let out all of this sort of, or keep away all of this sort of negative and angry emotions, instead taking more bits and pieces of it to try to manifest and control it for a moment in time. That is barely a success, that being the DC, but now you know the DC of all the other checks. So I wish you the best of luck for the rest of them, my friend. Wish you the best of luck. So that is one out of, well, you'll figure out the rest. But as this occurs, you look over and you see as almost you finding yourself entangled with this sort of weave of magic. However, it's surrounded, or the weave itself is surrounded by nothing but hellfire, where your magic comes from. You see as the flames and the power sort of surging past you, but you're too slow to grasp it and wield it in time, as it flies past you like bullets and more. That said, describe how you're trying to overcome this and grasp this power, wielding it in your hands, and after that, then make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, my favorite. I can't wait for this one.
Yeah.
So Agni's eyes are flickering from left to right as this power is sort of swirling uncontrollably around him. At first he like reaches out one of his hands to try to slow it down and grasp it, but that's not enough. He then uses both of his hands to try to pull it the opposite way, as if it's rotating clockwise. He's trying to rotate it counterclockwise as he pulls it back with all of his might with both of his hands. And as that seems to slow it down just for a brief second, he's going to try to clasp it in his hand, sort of as if you were trying to smash a fly in your hands, and wrap both his hands around it.
All right, let's see if you're fast enough to do so. Make a dexterity saving throw, and we'll see what you've got. Oh, no. Wait, no, but you have the or you have the -1. Ah, son of a bitch.
Wait, so you can use my 1d6. That wound up being a 12, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can use my inspo, and in the moment, I it's up to you, of course, but you could think of like when Azora said, "You might not remember this, Acne, but you are a great warrior, and I am glad to be serving by your side." When she was reminding you how you was a war chief.
So
I guess sort of feeling that brief reminder in the moment, Agni's hands start to think, instead of going faster, they start to slow down, almost even ice over, as he patiently tries to grab the magic.
that being said, as you begin to grasp it and wield it, it seems to course amongst your entire body, as that is a success. Good job, Agni. 2 steps of the way there. However, it's not over yet. As this occurs, you see and find yourself almost caught in this maelstrom of fire and chaos, as you have a bit of piece of it sort of wielding it in your hands, and it begins to expand out, almost consuming you entirely, taking you whole. As it does, you feel as if your bones are beginning to almost break and crack. You hear the laugh of several individuals of or almost devilish heritage, all mocking you as your strength and your body begins to debilitate. As this happens, oh goodness, I need you to describe how you are trying to overcome the pain, and then make a Constitution saving throw as you feel everything in your body just breaking.
So at this point, the stones sort of embedded into Agni's skin start to actually push into him deeper and deeper. The pain becomes quite high for Agni, as not only he's trying to control magic, his own body seems to be turning against him. Why these pieces of stone are even in him is a foreign question to him at this point, but right now they're kind of singeing their way into him. Agni kind of kneels down in pain for a brief second as this is starting to take hold, but as he has enough strength to open up one eye, he sees Philo over there, and as he notices Philo probably has a worried look on him, he's going to shout out to him, "Not yet, Philo. I can take this." And he's going to stand back up on both his feet and sort of start pushing these stones that are embedding themselves outwards to their natural position. And he's going to make a Constitution saving throw.
All right, let's see what you got. Ooh,
20.
big 16. Total of 20. Good stuff. With a 20 on your saving throw, as you begin to sort of push them back into the places and positions that they should be, you see as all the bits of pain, though you've taken it, though it's sort of almost broken you down, you sort of stand and march on even stronger than ever as the flames begin to take you and everything around. The entire area below begins to slowly start singeing away before you bring them closer towards you and begin to center them amongst your position. As that happens, oh goodness. Next up. As this happens, you begin to feel almost, as you're controlling it, it's almost too much to bear. Your brain begins to rack with more pain rather than your body. All the knowledge of the weave of magic and chaos itself and how to manipulate it begins to become more and more clear before you. Feel as if it's almost too much to withstand. Describe how you overcome this challenge as knowledge pours into your brain, and make an intelligence saving throw.
So after that fearsome success, Agni feels like he digs deep into the earth with both his feet as the area starts to become quite smoky between the temperature rising and the ground being just soaked with a soft snow. He starts to try to think back to where this anger even comes from, this chaotic fire magic, and he's drawing a blank. But he does remember some of the sayings that he would hear as a child from his parents, and the one that he mentions to Philo completely sticks out to him, literally, where it was his father telling him that a turtle only makes progress when his neck sticks out. So he's going to try to put himself right in the path of harm of this fire to control it with every ounce of his ability.
All right. Intelligence saving throw. 15 total. Yeah, that's gonna do it. That said, with a total of 15, you feel as if all the magic is sort of pouring into you, and you begin to see as you're almost manipulating it within that of your fingertips and more, and even controlling with the likes of your arms, but also your mind as you will it forward. That said, it seems to be that you almost sort of contained the likes of this wrath. However, there's still more to come. With all, you look forth, and as the memories begin to sort of pour into your brain, you recall all the things that brought you here, and it seems to be that you begin recalling times and visions in hell itself, leading almost armies, leading troops, before you begin to feel the power of it, the control of it all, and you nearly go mad with it. As it becomes too much for you to control, you witness as you nearly become a tyrant wielding it. Describe how you overcome this sort of threat and make a wisdom saving throw, the second to last.
As those memories sort of flood into his head, they feel completely foreign to Agni. He feels the energy of them, but there's no actual memory. But the memory that does come into his head is a recent one, as him and his teammates recently fought another commander, the orc and his minions. He remembers being in the cave with his allies as they slain the orcs one by one and topple the commander. If he is going to master not only commanding armies, but this magic, he needs to be stronger than anything he has seen before, such as that commander, such as the wolves we fought, and this is his moment, he believes, to try to take it for himself, because he believes he's worthy of it.
All right. That said, make a wisdom saving throw, buddy. Come on. Oh, nat 20. 21. And with that said, all right, the prerequisites have been unlocked. You have beat every single challenge thus far, which means we go into this state. All right, Agni, if this is the route you want to go, then so be it. With a 21, you feel as if you begin to almost manifest or begin to sort of shoo away as you were victorious with all of your allies leading the charge. And with all the challenges ahead, you look forth and you see yourself sort of surrounded in these flames, more and more fire. As it begins to manifest, turning from this orangish red, you look around as it begins to turn slowly and surely to this blackish flames, and then an everlasting or an astral light of blue, greens, and purples. You look towards the mark of your hand as it begins to turn from that of a likeness of a black star to an astral one before your very eyes. As you begin to look towards it, you try to seek and manifest. Oh no, Discord crashed! Son of a bitch! It crashed! No! Oh man, terrible. Fucking Discord, god damn it. God damn it, Discord! You son of a bitch!
You said the blacks are transformed into an astral form and then went out.
I suffered cosmic death, y'all. I suffered cosmic death. They done got me.
Awful. I was like, you, just like that.
Just like that. Yeah.
Oh, man. I thought he said corruption. I was like, damn, it's real. Or really over.
Well,
Even the demon get got.
even then, my bad. I will not refer to it as that then. You see, as it begins to turn to an astral light, the flames themselves turning from that of this orangish red to black and then sort of purple to green to even blue as you manifest and try to pull and will it forward, concentrating on the power. I need you to describe how you manifest it forward and make a charisma saving throw for your final roll and your final check. Make this a good one, my friend.
Oh, okay, so Agni feeling barely confident at this point. He kind of holds the magic in his opposite hand, the hand that doesn't have the mark in it. And as he kind of looks up and looks around at Philo, he takes a moment, looks at the statue, his weapons. He takes a look all around him, this place feeling somewhat serene and tranquil, but completely unfamiliar at the same time. And he takes a look at the fire that's in front of him, raw, unkept, unchained magic. He looks through his hands, and he sort of smiles a little bit behind the mask that he wears. And as he does so, he sort of pushes this ball of magic that he has been working and containing into his hand with the mark, trying to see if they can become one.
All right. Charisma saving throw, my friend.
I'm going to use that inspiration just because.
Just because that's a good idea. That's a good idea. 18 plus 4, 22. 20 is the DC. All right. Well, you're able to beat the DC of 13, but the 20 is the DC for this part. As this happens, you hold your hand out as all of the flames around you begin to slowly become consumed amongst you and slowly reside in the palm of your hand. As it happens, you feel yourself more powerful than ever, but also, as you wield it in your hands, you have, for almost one of the first times, actual control. Do you unleash it before you?
Yes.
Where do you unleash it towards?
He takes a quick, like, sort of glance around. And normally he would unleash it just whichever way he sees fit. But in this moment, he feels a little bit of peace at what's happening, and he wants to unleash it in the least dangerous spot. So for me, it's to the east where Philo isn't standing, where his weapons aren't. And from what he can see, he wants to take a step or two, if he could, and sort of unleash it all to the east.
All right. As you do, you fire it forth, and you see as these sort of purplish, bluish, and almost green astral flames begin to almost lick and tear into a nearby already burnt sort of bamboo or bamboo sort of stick. As it happens, you see as it begins to slowly course with this astral light and burn over, never sort of fading, never leaving, before it is all consumed, but all contained, until the point where all the flames begin to take over its entire form. The fire turns into almost melts the bamboo before your very eyes and drops down. And with that being said, oh goodness. Agni, you look towards your hand, and the mark seems to be just sort of coursing with more and more of an astral light. And for those, well, for everybody to be explained, Agni, you see as the makings of your or as you sort of wielding the likes of your scythe off to the side or looking towards it whenever you would, you see as there are more and more infernal runes signaling the sin of wrath on one side. And you also look towards it as bits of your body is also sort of coalescing with the bits of burning and dying vines, signaling Karametra's presence as your scythe evolves once more. Oh goodness gracious, this is gonna be something. I'm gonna have to DM you a couple things. Oh gosh, as you have now unlocked the beginnings of Astral Flame.
Oh wow.
Come on. That being said, alright. Eventually.
In this,
Or go ahead. No, you.
I was gonna say, after this wave of energy has come over Agni, he takes a look, um, as his hand is sort of bathed in flames, and while this beforehand seemed to hurt him, it feels natural now. It feels almost as if it's normal for his hand to be on fire. Um, and he sort of is able to manipulate this fire that is on his hand by making it grow larger and bringing it down to an ember at his will. He's completely out of breath as he looks at Philo to make sure that Philo is unharmed at what just happened.
You look towards Philo, and you see as he seems to be perfectly fine, sound, and safe. A worried look upon you for a moment, but then a soft sort of smile cracks up amongst his face. One of an individual who is proud, has seen an individual grow. That's
Agni attempts to head over to his scythe and his stuff, but he instantly just ends up sitting down as his legs sort of give out as every single rock or crystal that's embedded in him is pretty much smoking at this point, as he feels a wave of lethargy as he is just unable to move at this very moment.
You'll see as Philo, after witnessing, will begin to slowly start approaching you. Saying close to nothing, but just immediately trying to sort of tend to your wounds if you were to have any, and look them up and down, realizing that this is more of a sort of internal thing, a sort of internal wounding. He tries to sort of watch over you and do his best to make sure that you're okay, but he'll eventually just say, well done. Well done.
You almost seem like you expected me to complete that.
Do you want the answer you want to hear or the truthful answer?
I need the truth.
No, I thought you were going to die.
I appreciate the honesty. There was times where I thought the same.
Much. You overcame it with flying colors. Even, well, a blue one and a purple one now. Did you know that was possible?
Not fully. I was mostly just seeing what my limits could be. If the attack is coming, is going to be as great as it sounds, I need to know the full extent of what I can and can't do. This was a necessary, calculated risk that needed to be taken.
I see. I see. Well, that color is scary, I will tell you that much. They have a changing ones, but... You continue with your training. Seek to manifest it and wield it. Well, I'm just, as much as I... rather not, but I don't really have much of a choice. I'm sure you understand. I'll simply have to hope that continue to control it, like you did here today. But
I've been told I've looked scary majority of my life. This suits me.
well, all right. I mean, then again, I've seen some shit, so.
Well, when I get my legs back under me, you can tell me about all the shit you've seen on the way back. It might take me a bit longer to get back to camp.
I see. That is fine. Here, hold on 1 second. He's gonna look at. Yeah. I said if it comes to it, but I think because we do not have much time to sort of waste, we can go now, and I can just simply transform into a beast that you can just ride atop of for the time being.
You know, if I was a bit more prideful, I would disagree. I would turn down that offer. But at this very moment, I'm not. I appreciate the assistance.
Alright. Come on. That being said, you'll see his file will begin to sort of turn around, and as this happens, he begins to sort of set his, or put his staff amongst his back, meaning to sort of crouch down with the little bit of strength that he has. And you will see as this giant, massive mushroom individual begins to slowly morph and turn to the likes of a massive, oh yeah, I think you can do that. He turns into the likes of a massive sort of dire wolf before your very eyes. That said, he looks towards you, looks towards the statue, looks towards the water, and it waits for you to finish what you need to do here before you return back.
Agni picks himself up as best as he can and sort of hobbles over to where he set his things down. He picks up the quiver he has. He picks up the tools that he's been carrying, and he picks up the scythe. Upon picking it up, it feels heavier than before. Maybe because it's grown in power, maybe because he's feeling much weaker right now. But he picks it up, glances at it, and he believes his eyes are playing tricks on him, where he believes it looks different. He kind of looks at the statue, sort of taking a little bit of a longer look than what he did before. And he doesn't say anything, but the statue seems sort of comforting to him a little bit. Where his mind is usually filled with chaos and anger, the statue seems to, for a brief second, calm it just for a little bit. He sort of nods and he starts to hobble over, sort of using the scythe almost as a walking stick for the time being.
As that said, you gather yourself, return back. Alright. Do you continue forth back to the camp?
He continues forth, and as he gets on this giant dire wolf, he just says to Philo, not sure if he understands him as a wolf, "For the time being, could you please keep what happened here between us?" And he sort of passes out as he's unsure if this wolf understood him or not, as he's exhausted.
That being said, you two begin to travel forth back to the camp. With that, return the likes of the last and final individual, Azora. Oh boy. Alright. Finally, I get to reveal this art. Oh goodness. So, Azora, as you begin to... Oh, actually, hold on. As you begin to sort of sit there in that same stance that you eventually sort of rested in until the dream mist began to take you, you look over towards the likes of Hannibal, who seems to be almost breathing heavily, but they seem to awaken before you. That being said, they look over towards you and nod before getting ready to pick their things up. But before we do that, let us show off the new Azora art, also commissioned by Total Art Freak, which is also, or who is also in chat. Oop. Sick. That said, Azora, what do you say and what do you do?
So as she exits this dream realm, she looks at Hannibal, hear him panting, and she takes one step closer and she says, "That was certainly an experience. It was," and she looks at like her own body, the wounds that she thought she had experienced inside the dream realm, and she's like, "It was deadly for sure, but it would seem we are intact, at least physically so."
Pros of using the dream mist technique. I assume your training went well on your end.
It has been quite some time since I've had formal training such as this. A moment in order to see how far my own skills have come. I appreciate you for offering me this opportunity.
Well, don't appreciate the opportunity yet. We have yet to see the other side of this war. Once we are successful and victorious, then you shall thank me.
And she nods. And then she asked, the technique you used, for a moment, I wasn't sure if you moved so fast that I couldn't keep up, or perhaps it was some type of something of the arcane, but that technique, how did you go about exercising it?
Hmm. He will pause for a second and think to himself, and then eventually come to a conclusion of what to do and say, an answer, but you know why I ask of honor. Begin to reference it very frequently.
Yes, it is one of the few things I remember from my own training. I can't quite remember the voice or the face of my own master, the one who taught me the way of the blade. But I still remember the code itself. I remember that this thing in my hand is not just a simple blade, but an extension of myself, of my own body, of who I am.
That is correct. Surprised. Maybe in a past life you would have been my student of some sort. But I digress. The reason I bring up honor so much, because I was, well, born simply to break it. With no real way to sort of regain it due to my nature and how do you say, mutated capabilities. This is no gift, and I'll look towards the sword and immediately sort of have it surge with lightning. It crackles for a brief moment. This is a curse. A curse I've been dealt with that I must charge forth with, assume my own victory. This is through the how you say, the means of forbidden magic stored long away for no one to know. But seems to be that you are at least aware of it. I'd assume, considering the other one wielding it in your party. Or at least what I could assume wielding it.
She takes a moment to think about what he just said, and she remembers this feeling she's been getting lately during combat, and she says, perhaps a good term for it is a curse. I don't, like I said, I do not remember much, but this feeling coursing through me, this, and like she holds out her hand to catch a snowflake, and you know, normally when you hold on to a snowflake, it, you know, it melts in your hand, but as you see it on her finger, the snowflake doesn't melt, it stays the same. And she says, this thing almost, it feels like what you're describing. There is something in me that is changing or coming alive. This cold front. And she puts one hand over her eye, and she even though it's not iced over now, she could feel it, the cold aura coming from it. And she says, at first I thought it was a gift, but maybe it is a curse, just like what you're going through.
I know not much of the oculi, but if I could assume, based off of my brief experiences with you and the others, or the other oculi I've met, you can choose what you want it to be. Whether you want it to be a blessing or a curse, the choice is yours. Though we are possibly of similar paths, there are differences. And when those differences, you may choose to diverge. I know my path because I have no choice. It means to be, well, if it's the means to an end that I must sort of take on. Destroy all who sort of oppress and rule. I can strive towards the other. But I am not foolish. I know what could happen.
Even though, oh good.
You're good. Music.
She was going to say, even though you aren't a teacher to me now, is there anything you can impart upon me before this coming war?
I believe so. There's a simple thing. I noticed it when I essentially saw you, but also became more apparent when you fought in front of me. I notice a lot of things, but I also notice how you carry yourself. Carry yourself with purpose, but sometimes having potential, but not refined. Am I wrong to assume, Azora, that you lack confidence in something? Whether it be yourself, the way you wield the blade, something more.
It, she takes a moment to think to herself. And she says, you are quite perceptive. It is something that perhaps I do not. Perhaps it's something I do not make a big deal of for the others. But every day I feel like I'm always losing myself. It is not just simply not remembering who I was. I get the feeling that it wasn't just coming to this strange land that has begun that process of erasing my memories. But even as I've been here, I forget little things time after time. So it is not a lack of confidence in this blade. I have a feeling I will always know how to utilize it, especially to defend my allies. But I am afraid that one day I may forget who I am, and in turn forget who my allies are as well.
I see. That said, another question. Doesn't seem like it, but do you ever forget the way of, the way of the blade? How to wield it, but also Do you ever forget honor or Bushido?
I never forget Bushido. There are times when it would be easier to toss away the code, but I find those times, although challenging, until I remember who I am, it is the only thing I can stick to, the only thing that makes me feel whole. If I could be honest with you, Hannibal, I'm not even sure if in a past life was I this honorable. And that is something that scares me the most, is I don't know.
You see as he begins to chuckle for a moment and say, let me explain something. What you said reminded me of one thing. As samurai, typically we are referred to as blades. And you, if I am to understand this right, your skills are the one thing that you cling on to and remember every day. Use it to will yourself forward. You never forget how to fight, never forget how to wield a blade, and if I assume right, you do not forget the way of Bushido either. You mentioned that you forget your past. You do not remember many things, and you focus on that and more. But past is the past. You can't really control whatever it may be. Like me, I couldn't control how I was created, how I was experimented on, and more. But what I can control is the now. It's like you. You can control what is now and today to leave a legacy for others to remember. You don't need to remember your past to do good now. Which leads me to the thing that reminds me of something funny. I remember my own sort of teacher of the sorts. He always told me an old saying, and I would always, well, honestly blow it off, but maybe you will find some truth in it. Tell me, have you ever heard the saying of, yesterday is history. Tomorrow, well, it's a mystery. But today is a gift, which is why it's called the present.
This is not a saying or a mantra I've ever heard, and she has a small moment of brevity as she kind of smirks and she says, wise words from a decent man.
Decent indeed. I'll see as he begins to say a small prayer to them for a moment before saying, now, that said, is there anything else you wish to train with before we head back to the camp?
So she is a bit curious how he summons his lightning. So she's going to ask these elements that you are cursed with, this lightning, is it something that comes from within, or is it something that comes from your blade? This is something that I'm trying to control, this Perhaps if it is a curse, maybe I could turn it into a gift. But I've yet to fully understand it long enough to make it useful and not just a momentary or sporadic assistance.
As I cannot say much of it. I have sworn myself to the oath. This is a thing that it comes from or at a cost. I invoke a certain right. Not necessarily like a spell, but using a different type of magic. Forbidden one. Emocraft. Zora, make a history check. If that even somehow rings true, maybe to you. $11? Nah, not really.
What in? Think of it.
Essentially, I use my own life force, my vitality, and then change and manipulate the blood itself, coat it amongst the blade, and change its elements and properties a moment's notice. The only way it's possible is extreme control over blood magic and hemocraft itself. A slight mess-up could end up killing myself at any moment. But if it means that I could protect others and destroy those who oppose me, so be it.
In that way, we are similar. This is the reason as to why I too want to hone this craft. There is nothing that I could say that could. She thinks carefully. She says, "Well, I know you say not to thank you until after the war, but still." And she does a slight bow to him. She says, if we had never met, I would not have the opportunity to get such a lesson." And she says, "Is there anything that you could see within my own form that could be improved upon?"
There are a couple of things, but on the note of trying to learn, well, also, correct me if I'm wrong. Did you, yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, because Hannibal wouldn't say this. Were you referring of trying to learn Hemocraft, Zora?
Oh, nah.
Okay.
Nah, she didn't know it was that until he said that. She just thought perhaps maybe he just was able to summon lightning.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Cool. It is not of going underneath the hunter's bane, and simple sword mastery can at least help with that. That being said, we'll perform a bit of kata, or form. Use it, perform it, but hone your weapon, hone your strikes. Strike true, as if an enemy is before you. There is no need to ever hold back even when training, as practice does not make perfect, but perfect practice then makes perfect. So at your strongest, and he will draw his blade, and as he does, he will assume a stance not towards you, but just sort of out to the snow. Perform kata.
Yeah. She watching closely will kind of try to Wow, I just blinked on the word. Oh my god, what's the word where you try to imitate? Yeah.
Imitate, there you go. All right. As you begin to imitate the form, he begins to show you the likes of the ropes and more, making sure that your form is perfect, and with each single strike, you're able to essentially decimate anything to come into your path. And eventually, throughout the time, for the sake of brevity, he ends up having you perfect a new sort of stance. The draw of water. As you draw the blade, that of the stance of the Iaijutsu, and try to strike through, breaking forth Hannibal's defenses. But not only that, to go even further, as he would light his weapon of flame, and for you to actually overpower his blade with your own ice. You do not stop until you have gotten it perfect at least 7 times over. And eventually, after the bit of training, for roughly an hour and a half afterwards, you begin to end in a bow to one another out of respect. And if there's nothing else you want to do, Azora, then I believe you two head to camp. But is there anything else you want to do?
No. Yeah, she bows back and she thanks him for again for this moment, and she just chit chats about strategy and stuff on their walk back. Nothing we have to RP, but
Yeah.
She just talking about strategy, about like defending the camp and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Good enough. That said, eventually you return back to camp, and I believe with that, yeah, I think everybody's back at camp at this point.
Isn't someone slumped over a tree?
He gave him the healing potion though, and he's just been carrying him back. Or Addy Dark would have just been able to walk back if he wanted to.
Oh, I was hoping for some RP. Well, we'll take it.
Nah, I got you. Don't worry about it. We right here now. Oh man. That being said, we can rewind the clock a little bit. Addy Dark,
Words.
Oh. Hold on. 2 seconds. Two things. Let me change this. But Addy Dark, eventually, as you begin to awaken, you see the likes of Gore feeding you the likes of the health potion. Beforehand. Oh, also your camera's off if you didn't know. It's fine if it is. I was just letting you know.
It is.
Who's this?
V.
I see him.
Wait, what? Am I crazy? What the fuck?
It might be you being crazy. Yeah, I definitely see him.
Shit. Wait. How's that possible? Okay, for some reason I am. Oh, I know why. All right, I fixed it. Yep, I fixed it. That being said, one moment, gotta think of raid. Thank you, Carney Sideshow, for the 29-person raid. Holy crap, thank you guys so much. You guys are freaking awesome. I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves during the stream, and I hope you guys had a freaking fun and fantastic time. Now, that being said, special shout out to Carney Sideshow mods. Can you actually do exclamation point shout out for Carney? That would be wonderful, as they are a part of the stream team and fantastic individuals. God damn it.
Gore told you who the real orc was, bro.
God damn it. Okay, guys. Alright. But jokes aside, that being said, I won't be able to pay too much attention to chat and all that stuff because I am a professional DM and I'm DMing at the moment. But thank you guys again. I'm not able to thank any too many followers or subs, but it is much appreciated, and I'm going to thank them after the stream. That being said, grab a bit of popcorn, grab a drink, have some fun. It's going to be a fun and awesome time. And be sure to join the Discord while you're at it. And yeah. Alright.
For everyone.
Alright, I'm back.
For everyone.
Shut the fuck up! I'm back.
Always
I
back.
could
He's back.
control this isn't like the axe. I could actually control my. It was just there were no other targets. I tried.
Yeah, he really did try with the axe, or with the with this sort of blood rage. But that being said,
Frantically ran in a direction.
he wasn't gonna do that. He wasn't gonna do that.
Yeah. Like he just had to go for the last thing he saw. Smoke, I'll go with that as long as I can see it. And then I'm rolling 11 on perception. Be like,
But that being said, Addy Dark, as you awaken, you see the likes of Gore healing you. What do you say and what do you do? You can RP. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get some water.
For the record, Gore would I just to add, Gore would have been frantically over there, like trying to, like, he looked like he was struggling to get you back to what you calling
To like health, or back to consciousness.
Like and Gore would look like he ain't want it to go down like this.
All right, be right back. You guys can RP.
Yeah, but yeah, Gore would be like, nah, not the furry one. Gore can't keep on making these mistakes. Come on. And Gore would be struck, like you see him struck. He looks like whatever he did to make that post took a lot of effort. So I don't know if you would come to yet or not. Are you over here in thought? Are you over here? Dramatically pausing.
Just left you on red, man.
100%.
All right, hello.
What the fuck was that?
Furry one. I don't know what came over, Gore. Did I do all this to you?
I've heard tales of rage of this. Folks that have burned down villages, pillages, turned rivers black. You were uncontrolled, and worse off, unstoppable.
Not again. Gore doesn't wish it to go this way.
Were you possessed by the night? What is your blood? Where do you reign?
The night. It wasn't the night, furry one. Gore almost hurt the little ones before, but he thought he purged himself of that evil way. Some weapon was taking control of him, and he looks almost at the long sword he has. Gore thought this was a blessing. Is this another one of your tricks? And I saw something. Something Gore hasn't seen before. He saw a woman. She ran just like the rest of them.
You must learn to control that rage. You are not trusted by me, and you will take years to regain that trust.
Furry one, you will learn. Gore's here to protect. Gore isn't here to hurt the little ones and yourself. Gore will find out the source of this. He will crush them as he rightfully should. Did you not see her?
Let me put this simply. If you ever enrage like that again, I will call upon all elemental fury I have. Every ancestor before me, every god, wrath, you will feel it.
If it keeps me from hurting the little ones, then do what you must. Gore doesn't know what got him that way.
I thank you for the healing, but that is enough.
Let's get back.
All right. That being said, as you gather yourselves, all right. I believe you got all the materials and whatnot. Yeah, I believe so. That you may have found. That said, Addy Dark and Gore begin to reside and return back to the likes of the camp. And as they do, eventually, one by one, all of our heroes begin to return to their makeshift campsite for them to converse once more. Eventually, the first ones probably to return back would most likely be Azora and Hannibal. Then second being probably Addy Dark and Gore. And then probably last being Agni and and the likes of Philo. But eventually, one by one, everyone returns to
Zaman,
this area. Go ahead, Zaman.
as people are entering the gap, Zaman will be informing them of the same information he provided to Mao and Korra. This is essentially the communication he had with through his mark, as well as the impending war that was foretold to him.
That being said, just pretty much getting them up to speed, then, correct?
Yep.
All right. So everyone knows of the of this sort of upcoming war, and also the sort of likings of the mark upon their hand. That said, as you all 6 of you are here, with all of your allies and more, what do you say and what do you do? Look over to oh, go ahead, Agnew.
Agni kind of, I guess, hopping off of Philo, being the last one in camp. Kind of, I guess everyone would probably be gathered up. Agni looking definitely somewhat weaker than before. There's definitely bruises, cuts all over him. It's good to see everyone made it back in one piece. Hopefully, Gore, Addy Dark, you guys were successful.
There were tricks out in that forest. There'll be more and more, maybe more coming. Something tried to take my mind. And there were more spiders. But not like the ones we saw before.
So, not mechanical spiders. Actual spiders?
Yes, but they seem to be touched by the Fae.
Are they a threat to us? Do we need to change any of our defenses?
We were able to stop them. These defenses may work. Just know that there may be more.
Zaman would say, Agni, this tower is meant to be in the middle, correct? Should we go over the plan for this upcoming incursion that's going to happen, where everyone would be positioned, and what everyone's role would be?
Yes, it definitely needs to be discussed. But before, what did you, Korra, and Mao find out? Before I left, it looked like there was some inventions or tinkering going on. Was anything else crafted to help defend the camp?
Zaman would look at Mal and say, Mal can describe it the best, but well, we were able to make some artillery that can be controlled by him and I believe myself, using this helm he created.
Oh, kinda. So we're missing one sort of essential piece, but I think we've nearly gotten a breakthrough. We're gonna probably need some psionics magic or divine magic. I've been trying to help Korra out, trying to figure out where that divine magic of hers comes from. We've almost gotten to that point. Here, Korra, actually, you want to take another swing at this thing? I think we're almost there.
Okay.
I think Korra is your best bet amongst all of us for that type of magic.
Oh, any of you know psionics? Because I don't. Or at least divine stuff, maybe? Maybe we can pray to a god? I don't know.
I forgot. Did we just roll? I just do any spell?
Yeah, you can do any spell, or if you want to use the weapon, then you can do so. Choice is yours.
You target this.
21 and 12 points of damage. With one single strike, you see as Korra begins to immediately strike forth towards the individual sort of test dummy and begins to nearly shatter it with one single strike. But Korra, as this happens, as the weapon impales the individual, you feel just a sort of stop, a motion. And you see as almost a divine light begins to wash over the individual that you've struck. Before you begin to feel a sort of strange, foreign but almost familiar presence begin to take you. As the test dummy begins to drop down, scattered across the ground, you see as the bits of their metals just sort of lays there, glowing with this divine golden light. That being said, you begin to hear a voice almost enter the likes of your head. Begins to say, well, as they begin to speak, it's a sort of loud, boisterous, confident, and more, but familiar. As you all, well, you specifically hear.
Wonderful hit, Korra. You will show all of these foes to come how victorious you and your comrades shall be as you lead them to victory. That being said, do not stop there. Harness your victory and spread it amongst others for all to share and revel in.
As you hear, almost begins to, as they begin to sort of speak, it begins to almost come true. For some reason, the name Iroas, you almost begin to just sort of repeat it in your mind. It begins to become clear to you. You know that individual, you know who they are. But why now? Why remember now? That said, lots of questions. They asked you to sort of harness that power that you struck with them, or struck the individual with. What do you say or do, Korra?
She would probably look around to see if anyone else heard it. Because lately, she has been hearing things, and she's trying to decide if it's one of the things that she's heard before. She realized that this voice is different. And it's particularly talking about something she just did. So, she would think of those words, and she would probably actually hit it one more time using what she heard.
All right, go for it. Make another attack roll. With a 20, 9 points of damage, you smash through the creature, or smash, or towards the bit of almost pretty much rubble at this point. And you see as it begins to glow even further and more with sort of divine light, waiting to sort of be taken and waiting to be harnessed. And you hear just almost more and more sort of laughs and boisterous sort of bellows and more.
Wonderful hits. Now, as I said before, harness the power and spread it amongst your allies for them to see your glory.
What do you do?
I think she would keep that in mind, and yeah, she would definitely keep that in mind, and like when that time comes, it'd be like more of a she knows what she needs to do.
Easy enough. You'll see as Mal begins to look towards you and say, well, Anything? Feel any different?
I do, and I think I know what I need to do,
Oh,
and then okay.
oh, that's sad. We can try to give it another shot. Maybe you could try to call out to them once more, see if they can help out with this sort of device. As, we're gonna need it if we're gonna need this thing working. We're gonna need it working soon.
I can't remember. Did he say who his name was?
Who, the individual, sort of talking to you in your head?
Yeah.
No, he didn't say who he was, but you, just hearing his voice and the way he sort of talks and carries himself, you were able to tell who he was.
Okay. So she would like in like a very low whisper, like close her eyes, and just like say his name, but also like repeat the words like spread it to your allies, and the use of strength. And I'm pretty sure that one was beat up, so we'll fuck this one up.
That's it. As you do, make a wisdom check for me.
21.
21, good stuff. That'll beat it. That'll beat the DC for a faith check. You're striking this other individual, right?
Yeah, the one on the right.
Yeah. So as you strike this one, with the fatal single blow, you send it flying for a brief moment in time. And as it happens, you look towards that divine light energy and you begin to pull it forth and begin to almost hold your hand down, spread it towards the rest of your allies. And you look towards the likes of Gore and even the likes of Adidark, who seem to be the most injured. And even some of the others. And you watch as some of their wounds begin to slowly heal before your very eyes. As you almost siphoned a little bit of their life force and restored it with faith in others. Seems to be successful, and the individual who you called up before, they seem to be listening now, and they seem to have answered you for the first time. With that, Cora. Oh boy. You have now unlocked this ability I've been holding off for a while. Alright. I'll have to add this to your character sheet. I'll probably have to add it at the end of the next session, or at the end of the session. But here's what this basically does. Once per long rest, you have this ability, or you can choose one of the other. Whenever you heal or you buff someone, you may instead, like this is an ally of course, you may also damage creatures equal to your wisdom modifier, or a number of creatures equal to your wisdom modifier. The damage equals your character level. On top of that, if you do not wish to use this option, you can always opt to choosing the secondary option where, as you've seen before, whenever you damage someone, you may choose to heal your allies up to your wisdom modifier equal to an amount of your cleric level, or your character level. Oh, and it's not once per long rest, it is once per short rest. Sorry about that. That being said, have you sort of pulled forth, you were able to sort of manifest and control bits of almost using that of the like some sort of destruction, but also being able to use it as almost an inspiring force, as the likes of a strength domain cleric, to become a beacon of hope. That said, as you sort of sit there standing, you glow with the divine light, as you have been blessed by your god for the time being. Oh. Aura? Everything good?
She pauses for a moment, because she's like communicating with this god, and then she like snaps out and then looks at him and just nods. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, here. Wait, what the fuck? You'll see as he looks down, towards the device, and you'll see as it's just sort of or the head is kind of just sort of glowing. Wait a minute. And see as he begins to just sort of fit it onto himself, begin to sort of strap it to him, the top of his head. And you see as Mao begins to look forth, and he begins to almost just sort of sit there, eyes go completely wide, as you watch as 1, then 2, and then 3 turrets begin to form out of his bag, begin to start moving around almost simultaneously. Seems to be, Zaman, this is you're the one that it intrigues the most, as you see as these almost mechanical sort of bots moving and rolling around by the will of Mao. However, Mao himself seems to be incapacitated at the moment as he controls them. Seems that you guys have even more defenses for the upcoming battle now.
Does it look like Mao is controlling them? Like, you see like a hypnotic type state?
Yeah, it looks like it's the typical sort of hypnotized sort of state.
Copy. So, as the mom would say, wow, Mao, you have gone much more powerful. This is impressive. But we must make sure he's protected while he's doing this.
He does not respond if you're looking for one.
No. I was kind of just, I was just over him and talking.
Okay. Yeah, he is spaced out, but that is what he is doing at the moment, unless you would like to sort of wake him up out of it, because from what it looks like, it doesn't seem as if he can wake himself up out of it.
Oh, yeah,
How big are these like turrets?
They're slightly bigger than Gore.
Okay.
There's a man will wake him up and say, Mao, snap out of it.
You take the headset off?
I want to wake him up, but I want to like understand if I do this, would it potentially hurt him?
Make an intelligence check.
Yeesh. I'm going to use guidance on this.
That was nearly a 4. Oh man. With a 18 plus 2, a 20. You realize that it probably wouldn't hurt him. He's fine. You need to be careful about it and probably not just rip it straight off of his head, but yeah, you'll probably be fine.
Copy. Zaman is going to carefully remove the device.
Did it work? Oh, my head hurts.
Zaman will say, Mao, that was very impressive. You were able to control 3 of the turrets at once.
I did. Oh. That's good. I think I'm gonna take a nap though. I'm tired. Oh god. Ugh. I want to do that too much.
Understandable.
Ugh.
Are the devices still roaming around?
Nah, they pretty much stopped as soon as you took the headset off.
Copy. Zaman would like inspect the devices just to try to get a better understanding of how they function.
Looking just pretty much out at them, it seems to be the like, so one kind of has a sort of, or multiple have or 2 of them specifically have barrels. One kind of has the likes of a crossbow, or has more of a sort of crossbow design with several dozen bolts sort of attached to it. Kind of like a sort of a ballista turret in a way. The secondary one seems to have a bits of almost fire, or almost kind of a bit of bat guano and a little bit of sulfur sort of tied to the side, ready to sort of spark and fire forth, probably into a cone, being the likes of a flamethrower. And the third one seems to be more of where the divine nature comes in, the blessing of Iroas, as it seems to be just a simple totem or a tower that upon sort of moving towards it, you feel as if more of your resolve begins to be hardened, and you watch as if you were to have wounds, they would be closed or at least protected and shielded for a moment in time. Those are the 3 turrets that Mao was able to basically make.
Zaman will turn to Agni and say, Agni, we should figure out how to strategically position things. One seems to be good for a massive amount of damage in an area. The other one seems to be precision based and able to target maybe one creature at a time. And the last one is more for healing.
These do seem powerful, but, well, we should let Mao rest. We need to know the exact details, such as the range of these things, to know where to properly place them. I would imagine we would want to protect and keep the one for healing as close to everyone as possible, and then divvy up the other 2.
I think that would make the most sense.
Looking at what we have right now, it's probably best if Hannibal protects Mao and Old Man Philo. Both of them can provide assistance. I'm sure Mao, after he recovers, can control the turrets, but he's going to need protection. We've seen what Philo can do on the... Well, he's also going to require protection. Hannibal, I assume you have no quarrels with this?
If it is the bestest tactical decision, I will do what I must.
You seem to have a perceptive eye. I think you'll be just fine making sure they stay safe. For the rest of us, from what we can see, there's 2 entrances, but I'm sure we're going to be attacked from other ways. Grouping up in 2 groups of 3 probably would be the most effective. Is there any preference on who's with who?
Zaman would say both I and Kara have healing capabilities, so we should be in separate groups.
Azor will say, I'll take I'll watch from the north. Referencing up here.
Gore, Addy, any preferences on where you defend or who you fight best with? Or should I make a decision?
Gore is gonna ride with Agni.
Big one, you've made this choice before. Tell Gore what he will do to defend the little ones.
If we broke up the groups as they are now, Zaman, it's probably best if you go with Azura. Between Gore and Addy, one of you with each group. This way, we each have someone that can provide support via ranged or melee, someone that can take a hit, and someone that can do a bit of everything.
Then maybe Agni, Gore should come with us, and Addy remains with you and Kara.
That's acceptable for now. Any objections, Addy Dark?
No objections, but watch Gore. His mind is weak, susceptible to many hexes, as I saw in the forest. We're not just fighting creatures here.
Gore, is there something you need to tell us about what actually happened out there?
Gore's mind was taken. Gore can't tell you what happened. I don't remember. But Addy was injured. I did my best to bring him back to health. And for the record, did Gore learn that potion thing or not?
Which thing? Oh, the how to make a potion? Yeah, you're still probably gonna want a better thing of like crafting a herbalism kit. But yeah, you can, if you were to craft a herbalism kit, you could probably learn how to make potions very, very easily.
Okay. Well, I think he would share with people he think would be a little bit more adept with it. And he'd be like, I did the best I could. With all I knew, I put together something to heal him. If there's something over here trying to take my mind, Gore will not let it happen again.
When you mention crafting in a herbalism kit, Zaman would say, I don't know, I don't completely understand why, but I feel more at one with nature. Maybe I should try my hand at it next time, Gore, with your guidance since you've done it before.
I'll show you, Gritty One. This is the best I can do with what I know.
I mean, if anything, Gore and Addy still seem a bit sick. Maybe you can use that medicine to help them. I would prefer if all of you are at your strongest before this fight happens.
A wise one. I was about to ask, is it worth curing for their sickness or crafting potions for the immediate?
Question, Sensei.
Yes.
I have a lesser restoration.
Uh-huh.
Does that help in this situation?
Let's find out. It might. Lesser restoration. There might be a, unless I'm thinking a greater restoration. I think there's a material cost for it.
Lesser restoration does not have material costs.
Roll semantics. And either one disease or condition afflicting it. Yeah, you could end a disease onto them. That is a possible thing.
Copy. Zaman will say, Cora, I believe me and you may have something capable of healing them.
Like what?
Have you heard of this ability called lesser restoration? It is able to cure diseases.
How could I help?
I remember when I was dedicated to Clothis, I had this ability innately. You may also have it, but it seems some of that has transferred to me, even though I am no longer of her faith.
Shit. Alright. That's gonna fucking suck for him. Alright, you'll see as Hannibal begins to just sort of stop for a moment. And at the mention of Clothis, you see as several forms begin to reside behind him for a moment as he drops down to a knee, just trying to grab himself and sort of get a hold. Hell. What's going on? I am okay. Something took over me for a moment. Unsure of it. It's past.
Would Zaman realize that it's whatever happened to Hannibal was connected to what he just said?
Maybe. I mean, you just mentioned like Clothis, so it could be that.
Copy. Zaman. Go ahead.
I saw the damned visions again and more. Myself residing on a boat. I saw a strange sort of sun. But it had 6 horns. Horns, not like a devil, but horns sort of golden bejeweled for whatever reason. Then it was sort of covered in blood. Or I heard a sort of feminine scream. Never seen that before, but felt like I did again.
I think after thinking about the simulation between the last time this happened to Hannibal and this time, Zaman will make a mental note of another word he will cross off his list of things to say. And say, Hannibal, I think something I said may have triggered it. I'll be more careful with my words.
It is fine. You did not know. Or did I? Besides, this is not the only... You are not the only one who has done those things before. I trust that you do not do them out of pure joy like the other one that I ran into. And you do them out of pure accident.
My intent is never to hurt, but sometimes I can talk a little bit too much.
I shall be fine. That said, if I'm to understand this right, Agni, Azora, Gore, and Zaman shall be in a group. Addy Dark, yourself, Agni, Cora being in the second. The third being me, Mao, and Philo. Towards the center or the back, I on protective duty watching over them. While Philo attacks from afar, and Mao controls the turrets from above. Is this correct?
That is correct. Azura, Zaman, and Gore will take the north, while Addy, Dark, Cora, and myself will mainly defend the west. You guys are freed up to provide assistance as you see fit, with you being the leader of those two. I believe the fire turret will best suit up north with Azura, Zaman, and Gore, and we'll take the precision one down here. The healing one should probably be based somewhere in the center. When Mao wakes up, we'll find out their exact ranges so we know where to place them.
Very well. Said, are we to make any more defenses? Adidak or Gore, did you find any more materials or any of those coins to make any more defenses? Or do we stand with what we have now?
We definitely found coins, right?
Yeah, you found a couple of coins and materials.
Oh yeah. I was like, we definitely like.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Come back empty-handed.
We shouldn't, salvage night creature corpses, husks, and things.
No, we went ham. We found many things. Some short swords, still some leather, and more of those coins. And Gore would let them know everything they found.
Well, that being said, if that is the case, then if there's any other things you should build, then you should do them now. Or we have a little bit of time.
Question, since we're level 3 now, was there another bunch of things that we could build? Or
There is.
because we only...
I don't know if I cut them off, but there is a significant amount of things you can do. Now, granted, most of these, if I'm not mistaken, are built for, what do you call it? Houses and stuff like that, but here you guys are. You guys can make a lot of shit now. Holy crap, yeah, it is a lot. One moment. Alright, so these are for base building. Yeah, I think you gain 18 different, or like roughly 12 to maybe 15 different things you guys can make.
Yeesh.
You guys can look in the VD in-game content chat, and then I will also bring the second one is going to be more focused on housing and stuff like that.
Addy, man, messing with Gore.
Alright. You can make the likes of alchemist labs, alehouses, market stalls, war rooms, battle rings, armory, stables, and a moat. Granted, some of these require a lot more material components, and you also have a limited amount of space of what you can kind of build right now, so, or build within, so.
No one wants the brewery? Just me, huh? I'm the only one that wants the brewery, huh? Alright.
I mean, hell, we can do that after we win the war.
Right, legit.
I try, we drink, and then we rage.
This is some cool things, honestly. This is pretty dope. It's a lot of options.
Yeah.
House, maybe we can make the enemies just share a drink with us. Don't you like talking to them? You're talking over.
A moat would be cool. That's interesting. I don't think Agni would like the moat though.
Bro, Agni has clearly learned the power of this fucking water and would be open to a moat as long as he is far away from it. This water is dangerous.
I think a moat would be dope. I think that if we can use that and maybe attempt to knock enemies into that moat, it could be a tactical advantage.
Let me see something exactly how big it is.
So we need to get the water from somewhere.
Yeah.
Blood of our enemies.
Filled with blood moat.
How much water did Gore get from that little pond thing?
It wouldn't be enough, I'll tell you that much. I feel you. The most you could make for a quote-unquote moat would be a river. And that's not big. It's not the biggest thing. The main issue with a lot of these buildings is the fact that let's say, for example, you see this tent over here. See how big it is compared to the map? A lot of these structures are like ridiculously bigger than that, you know?
Copy. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it possible to build the moat and not put water in it? Just sort of like a way to slow people down if we wanted to?
Like a trench sort of thing?
Yeah, so it's more of a trench.
I think we could work something out with that. Yeah, I'd be down to work that out. Granted, again, it would be like, it'd probably be, this is just me coming up with this or whatever here.
We can take that offline.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, this is like roughly, because I can do this 2 seconds. It'd roughly be like this, about this wide, you know what I mean? Like 3 squares-ish. And then going, obviously, all the way however far you want it to be. So if it's going like this way, then, yeah. Do you understand what I mean by that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the width and that's the length.
Yeah, exactly. Alright.
Pretty big trench.
That's a pretty big trench. That'll be like if we position it maybe where the walls are not, like where we don't have these barricades, like we put it maybe on like over here. Can I ping it like somewhere like along this royal? Or in case enemies come this way, we're defended, or they have a little bit of some additional rough terrain to go through. That might be cool. Or over on this side. I'm thinking more this side though.
Yeah, we can discuss it afterwards.
Yeah, because you definitely can discuss it after this as well. Zaman, you begin to almost hear a fantasy telephone begin to start ringing. No, I'm kidding. The mark upon your hand begins to start glowing.
Copy.
As that happens, at this point you all used to it by now. You see as Hannibal's mark as well begins to glow, but yours specifically, Zaman, begins to detach and expand outwards before you. You look through and you see as no response or no secondary response from Anth, and no response from the mushroom as of yet. But you do receive another message from the likes of Zale. As you look and glance over and you see him amongst a beach in the Forbidden Expanse. They seem to be almost building defenses as well at the moment, having the likes of a sort of wall, while also having, or looking over, they seem to have killed several hyenas for the sorts. But as this occurs, you all see this individual once more. Oh boy, and then we get to this part, but first we got to deal with this. Boop. And boop. Alright, here we go. And here is what they say. Oh, I can also explain this. So they seem to be surrounded by the likes of not too many individuals, But anybody looking inside, make a perception check for me. All right. So.
Sorry. I meant to. I was on mute, but I was asking if I could use guidance with it.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. 17, or 21, 17, 16. Okay. So, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but just to make sure I did. You see as there's Zale, but there's also seems to be another oculi of the sorts behind them. They seem to be, any of those who've dealt with oculi before would know this individual truly to be a part of the Samadan tribe. As they have long, sort of dark hair and more. They seem to sort of reside behind Zale and just looking towards this. But you also see as there is another individual who seems to be of robotic nature, similar to Korra and Zaman, wearing a small straw hat. But the main thing I need to know, if only those three people were looking, I need to know what languages you three know. This is a big one.
Zaman knows.
Infernal common for Zora.
Okay, only Infernal and Common. You don't understand that. Zaman, what about you?
Druidic, Common, Infernal, Primordial, Sylvan, and Celestial.
Damn it. So close, but no, still don't understand it. You understand not really, but it seems it's older dialect.
Elvish, giant, and orc.
What'd you say?
Elvish, giant, and orc.
Ding, ding, ding. All right. Oh boy, here we go with this. All right. So, oh boy, I've been waiting to reveal this one for a while, and they don't even know. I'm here. Hold on, I'm gonna tell Max to unmute because he's not gonna want to miss this shit. All right. So, as you look towards the individual who seems to be of a warforged nature, you kind of glance towards them, and they seem to have this strange marking upon their neck. But looking towards it, Zaman doesn't seem to ring anything true to you. Azora doesn't seem to ring anything true to you. But you all see this individual, and you find it's a big one. But you look over towards their neck specifically, and you see these sort of markings off to the side in Elvish. But they're not a language at all. They're not a language, not even sort of a symbol. These are coordinates.
Huh.
Now you're putting the dots together.
Oh wow. Okay. That is interesting.
Oh,
That
it just
that is-
clicked. Oh damn.
That is interesting.
Coming home.
Oh god.
Oh wow.
I told Finn to put that on Farmer's Art for the longest, just in case anybody could see or read Elvish. Oh man.
Only our group would understand what that means, I think.
Yep.
That's wild, because Gore been able to read Elvish, so that's wild.
But he never saw
Oh.
this.
Nah.
Oh,
That's
that,
crazy.
Gore just went and looked over there.
that is some detail.
Shout out to Finn. So,
Shout out.
So like,
mhm.
Now we finally got that return address.
you know,
Return to sender.
Finally.
what does it all mean?
Oh yeah, Cora doesn't understand.
Or did we do that?
Well, I did tell Core the details of what. Like
we wouldn't know.
I literally
We wouldn't know. We
Like,
wouldn't know, but it all just made so much sense right now. Just like that.
I just gave
Just like that.
Yo, Daryl, I just gave you the details of like everything that happened up until like our whole interactions, talk about the Forbidden City, what we needed to do. Remember?
We'll talk. We'll talk after in the post
We
chat.
need
He's saying
that
pretty much
data
when
dump.
he separated you two from Mal, and he's like, "Yeah, I just tell him everything."
And now you may know why that campaign is called that campaign.
That's different, boy. That's different. That done just opened
And that's
eyes.
quite
That
the
was just
secret
like-
in the sand.
That is the secret. Wow.
Farmer was the main character all along.
Oh man. Well, regardless, here's what you guys hear from the first message from Zale. Okay. All right, Max, if you want to mute, there you go. But you all hear this. Hopefully it's loud enough.
Hey, Zaman. Great info. Just by Hey, Zaman. How do you exactly know there's going to be a Akuyama and Teniyama war here? You know, like everywhere. No, it's just. It's not that I don't believe you, it's just. It seems a little far fetched if you catch my drift.
That being said, as this begins to happen, for some reason it got cut off at the end. But you look over and you see as Zale begins to look over towards the likes of the Warforged individual, and for the first time they're able to speak through the likes of the mark as it begins to shine even further. And you all hear this one. Oh boy.
Well, at this time, because of my decommissioning, there is not a lot of remaining tactical, strategic, or war-based knowledge in my mind as to make fair computations of what risk this war poses to us. However, by the sounds of it, if we are referring to such creatures as those of a demonic influence and an angelic influence, this is likely going to span more than just this place alone. I presume that if they, that is to say the other party, is reaching out to us, then the implications are wide-ranging.
As that begins to happen, you see as the individuals wait for a response. That said, what do you say? And what do you all do?
Zaman would look to the group and say, I informed of him this upcoming war. I mentioned to you guys what I saw. Should we communicate this? From who I got the message from.
I forgot. Who you got the message from again?
Yana.
The
Got it.
fox, right?
Yokai got us, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That I assume that Zaman, you explained it to them, that Mao said that, yeah, that's the Yokai God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I gave him a full rundown.
I mean, Azor was say, I do not know anything of gods and devils and demons, so this is something I guess it's up to you clerics and Agni.
Zaman will look to Agni and say, I think there's no harm in just telling them where I got the information from.
Harm? No. But you take away leverage when you tell someone everything you know. I can't say I know much about demons or angels. I was raised by infernals. Two totally different things. Easily mixed up. Demons are way more uncontrolled.
Oh, I think there's a loss in translation and all that. Yeah. Devils is what the Akuyama are. Sure, they're typically just all-encompassing, just fiends and stuff like that, you know, so demons and devils, but it's more akin to like devils typically. So there you go. Does that make sense, Sean?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay.
I just heard him say demon, so that's what I was going with.
Yeah.
For some reason, I can never hear the recordings. So I'm just gonna. I don't know. I'll just rewatch the VOD, but I didn't hear the recording.
I'll just drop it, the recordings and all that stuff. So if you want to listen to them afterwards, I got you.
Zaman will say, I know we are hesitant because of who they travel with. But much like our party, I'm sure they may not know who she is. And even her may not have been who she was at the time.
This woman is the one who she remembers the warning you gave outside the cave, and she.
I was gonna say.
She stops and thinks, and she just says,
"Yes,
we have." Go ahead.
Wish.
You would say yes, untrustworthy.
Who is this woman that you refer to?
Unfortunately, we cannot say.
It is like when she would say, I guess it's when you experienced a certain feeling when you had a name.
Exactly.
In that way we cannot say.
I mean, make a deception or persuasion check. Animal's not really gonna do anything about it, but still make a deception or persuasion check to see if you can at least tell what's going on here. You can have advantage, because you two are talking.
Ew.
Not 20.
No, please, god damn it. The fucking
It really must be nice to get nat 20s on skill checks. I am
Like
still
regular
waiting for my
regular,
first. I'm still waiting for my first
regular,
one.
regular. Like it happens all the time. That train come through.
Oh,
I'm just
man.
trying to gain one proficiency. Just one.
Just one. God damn it, man. Alright. He'll roll insight. 14. Okay, he believes you for the time being. Won't look for it farther into it. He'll just say, very well.
And then Zaman would turn back to Agni and say, how about this? I tell them it came from a divine being, but I won't specify who.
Agni kind of thinks to himself for a little bit. I have no disagreements with that.
Okay. And I guess none, besides Cora, none of us would have understood that mark on Farmer's neck. So I guess
It's more of you wouldn't have really noticed it. Because it's very hard to see.
Copy.
So unless Cora wants to speak out and say, hey, wait, for some reason I could actually read that, and then, hey, like they would have contacted Zaman most likely because that was the person who told you anything. I mean, that's up to her whether she would want to do that or just sort of keep it for another time. So Cora, what would you rather do? Would you inform the party of that information, of knowing that there were coordinates on that Warforge's neck, or would you keep that to yourself for now?
She'd probably keep it to herself because she wouldn't. At the time, it wouldn't even cross her mind to even mention it.
All right.
Copy. Zaman will say, well, okay, I think I have a response. And he will start with saying, Zal, I understand your uneasiness from the message I sent. It's a lot to take in. This supposed war is going to be far-reaching and will impact all of Voden. As I previously said, I was given this information from a divine source that I am unfamiliar with. He would say, I believe that we are connected, potentially for this purpose. I don't think the Teneyama and the Yakiyama, I don't think there's a right or a wrong side. I think we are meant to prevent this war from occurring, but I am not sure how.
That said, as this begins to play out, see, as the mark begins to slowly shift and change, and change once more. Look towards the likes of the Tiefling individual. Then it begins to shift again. And as this is sort of happening, you see as it begins to, well, I don't want to show it off yet because I haven't had permission. So I will not.
When it gets to the Tiefling, Zaman will say, Mao, I believe this is the person that is traveling with your daughter. Then he would try to send an additional message if he could with Mao.
You'll see as Mao tries to kind of stagger up for a little bit, for a brief moment in time, kind of like almost has to lean amongst the sort of tower, and trying to, like, you see as he is sort of almost willing himself forward, like almost in a state of unconsciousness, but still just forcefully moving himself with all the strength and fiber of his being to this the triangle to say something or anything, as he begins to just sort of grab the likes of Amon or Zaman's sort of arm, just kind of leaning onto it. Is this the one?
I believe so. I believe he travels with your daughter.
I mean, I don't see her anywhere. Here.
Zaman would say, I saw her when I first saw him. Now, there's no guarantee that they are currently together, but this may be our closest way to communicating with her.
Too tired for this. Do you think, maybe did something, or, I don't know. When you saw them last time, were they okay? Like, this individual didn't seem like they hurt her.
No, they seem to be companions. As we are.
Are you 100% sure?
That's a great question. How sure am I?
Make a insight check on Anth over there.
Copy.
That sleazy bastard. 7? You look at him and it's just like, huh? You know, you see, I want you to know this is the individual that you all see before you. And it's just like, well, shit, maybe.
Self-professed con man.
that smile, he up to something.
Facts. Definitely
You-
up to something.
You start to question yourself a little bit, like, huh? Maybe. Wait, hold on. Maybe. Wait a minute. Wait
There's a
a
lot of
minute.
bottles around him. What's he been drinking?
With whom you put your faith in?
Gold,
A lot of bottles.
I'm trying to convince Lika to start her OnlyFans.
Oh
Here we go
no!
again.
Please, God.
Here we go again. You gotta break this man Mal's heart.
Make it in, please.
Yeah.
This nigga named
So, seeing that picture again and with that insight check, the mom says, I've seen more questionable people. I don't know if he's the best person, but I don't believe he means your daughter any harm.
Oh man, but Bowser the fuck, he's barely hanging on. He'll just say,
Can I kill him or anything to help him out?
it's more of, I mean, you can certainly try and fucking help him out here, but he'll just say, be very careful what you say, but just try to figure out where she is. Well, please be careful. It's
Okay.
more of, as you heal him, it's more of that he's not really injured, sort of like psychically. It's kind of just sort of put a strain on his body. It's more of like he is exhausted right now.
Copy. He just needs to rest.
Yeah.
Understood. Zaman would say, is it safe to say her name and your name? And something along the lines of, if you are with Lika, tell her that Mao is looking for her and he is with me. Do you think that is acceptable, Mao?
You look towards him and he is sort of like slumping over and kind of like dropping down to the ground. He seems to be slowly starting to pass out at the moment. So at that point, you see as Mao is out of commission. It is up to you, my friend. Choice is yours.
Zaman seeing this and hearing Mao's concern, he will send a message and say, I did not catch your name, but if you are traveling with a ringtail named Leka, tell her that I am also traveling with a ringtail who is interested to talk to her. And that will be it.
Alright. That said, the message begins to fade, and you look over and you see the likes of a sort of mushroom, a myconid. But the last time you saw them, they were a lot smaller, in fact. Very, very short, just wielding a massive sword. But now it seems to be at this point, they're just sort of almost drooling and looking out towards you. And they seem to, the sword maybe shrunk, but no, they grew. And they grew a lot.
Seeing
But,
this,
well,
Zaman-
hold on. But as this sort of happens, you try to sort of say a couple of words. And you'll see as Philo begins to look up, and the mark begins to vanish before you even get the chance to say anything.
Copy. Would Philo have seen him?
Oh. 1 second. You saw them. Well, yeah, he looked over. He saw him, but I mean, you don't know exactly what he saw or what he makes of it. So he just looked over and noticed.
Zaman would call over to Philo and say, Philo, do you recognize that last individual
I didn't really get a good look at him. He was a myconid, and a big one at that.
Yeah, he was much bigger than the last time I saw him. Is that normal?
Ah, yes, yes. This is how I grew to my size when I aged.
Interesting. Maybe next time I get an opportunity to communicate with him, you could assist me.
That could be something. But I believe that we are out of time, what it could seem like. And you all begin to glance up towards the sky, and you see as the sky begins to shatter before your very eyes. And up above, you see the Aurora Borealis in full effect. You look out and about, and you see as several, it almost looks like dozens and dozens of creatures and individuals and shadows begin to start pouring from the likes of the sky. However, we'll see if your resolve is strong enough in the next episode, Session 10 of Valley of Dreams. That's it.
Yes, sir.
That is where we'll have to cut the session today, as we are at time. So we'll have to pick back up and figure out what the hell you guys are gonna do with that one. You have not gotten your long rest in, so we'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can do. We can hope that they're a little delayed or something. We can hope they're a little delayed. But I wish you the best of luck, my friends. That said, I'm going to go break down stream. I will be right back. Okay. For a moment. Lots of Lord Dumps today.
Lots.
All right, there we go. We're gonna head to the chilling thing. There we go. That being said, thank you everybody who decided to tune in to watch. My name is SenseiSuplex, and you guys are freaking amazing and fantastical individuals that decided to stick to the end for this little session. Special shout out to everybody who decided to raid the channel, such as Carney Sideshow and more, and also Wes, you guys, and Neo. You guys are freaking awesome. Thank you so much. Sorry I wasn't able to look at all the follows and all that stuff from earlier, but that being said, a little bit about me before you guys go and before we head over to the raid. My name is SenseiSuplex. I'm a professional dungeon master that's also dedicated to bringing your games to the highest level they can possibly be. I give out actionable tips on the likes of YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and we also run this giant sort of awesome movement known as the Workout Warriors, where we try to get as fit as our D&D characters. Lots of strength training to also get everybody in shape and basically have everybody lead a healthy sort of lifestyle. That being said, if you want to bring your games to the next level, if you want to see any of these VODs, if you want to see any tips, or anything like that, or ways to get back into shape for D&D or in a D&D themed way, be sure to hit the follow button. Be sure to follow me on all those socials and all that. It helps us out. And then be sure to join the Discord, because this game is also a part of a grandiose universe known as Project Aurora, where 16 other adventures and campaigns in history have all been played here, and they affect the same world in multitude of ways. Actually, fun fact, we had another one-shot that happened earlier that was ran by Jackistan over in another continent that was occurring at the same exact time. So hey, be sure to join the Discord. We'd love to have you, because anybody can affect the world. So hey, how will you? We're gonna throw over the raid to where's the raid channel? I think we got Nat 30s. The Discord fam is awesome. True. I think the Nat 30s are on at this point, right? Yeah, see, I know exactly when they're live at this point now. All right, so we're gonna start the raid over there. And that said, thank you guys again for watching, and I will see you guys the next time. Bye, guys. Oh, God.